Oh, you tell me stories, you tuck me in, and the second you leave, I call you right back to check for monsters in my sheets. Yeah, high school was hard. You fight with my mom. I'd fall asleep to the screaming, sound machine always speaking, left emotional scars. Now I'm 21, a soul of 50 years. And now that you are gone, I'm doing things that I shouldn't know from. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21, a soul of 50 years. And now that you are gone, I'm doing things that I shouldn't know from. I'm doing things that I shouldn't do. At 21.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope you boys are having a wonderful, beautiful day. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back with the Ghost of Dalaran. Let me take off the priest fade here for a second. What the hell? Let's go, boys. We got ourselves 5V5 1v1 DUELS over on the EU servers today. We also got a lot of class buffs upcoming, boys. Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's a lot of like just percentages, but they're still really, really good. So let me get the music back up and running real quick, boyos. Let me just get the tunes in here again and we'll be set. We'll start off with this song. Huge fan of this one. I don't know why. How y'all doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope all of y'all are having a wonderful, beautiful evening and or afternoon and or morning over on the Australias. We need Wowhead. Wowhead for some class buffs. I'm gonna peep these real quick. I looked at them for a second there, dude. Yo, let's go. We got some really good ones. Look at these. Look at these beautiful buffs, boys. We got ourselves just some adjustments for underperforming classes. I feel like it's a fair way to put it. We intend to make a weekly reset on the 12th, so there's probably going to be more, man. Probably going to be more. We got ourselves a Blood DK Bone Shield grants armor equal to 70% strength instead of 50, so that's going to be a pretty meaty physical buff for Death Knight. I still feel like they might still be quite squishy, but this definitely helps them deal with the physical damage much better because they have been pretty good for the magic damage, AMS as well as the self-heal through all those casts. It's not that bad, honestly. Frost DK, 2% additional damage with a two-hand equipped. I'll take it. I'll take it. We got Frost Mage 9% buff, which is pretty good. Windwalker Brewmaster also got a 2% upgrade with a two-hand weapon increase. Assassination Rogues making a return with that 8% with like a 5% last week, so that's what 30% to put together. Apparently this buff is enough to make him viable for raids. It's still not going to make him best in slot, but it's going to make him viable. And we got us as a Fury Warrior buff with all damage equal by 8% except for Bladestorm and Dragon's Roar for one reason or another. And Meat Cleaver Talent now increases Whirlwind's damage by 25 instead of 30. Meat Cleaver Whirlwind deals more damage. Maybe that was just that good of a talent, so they're nerfing it to account for this nerf. It's still going to get a benefit, right? 5% nerf here, 8% nerf of buff overall for Whirlwind. Not bad, not bad. I think I tried to also make Bladestorm, Dragon's Roar, or Whirlwind a little bit more competitive with Meat Cleaver. But yeah. And also PvP Pod Tender. Apparently when you were to pod, you would still hold the flag. Which makes no sense why that was a thing. Alrighty, boys. Let's get into the EU servers for today. For some 5V5 1v1 DUELS, boys. How y'all doing? Welcome back. We got ourselves Belisarius. Belisarius. How you doing, my man? Do not ask. We got ourselves a Luri Lapka. We got ourselves Kran, Kiel, Samsu, 5Os. We got ourselves STC, Masi, and Sam. How you boys all doing? Welcome back, boys. Welcome back. Hope all of y'all are having a wonderful, beautiful day. Dal, spectator, logging on. I changed the knife just for this. Did you really? For what class? What, just for the pod? Yeah, so apparently as if you had the flag and you got pod, you just held the flag. So you could hold the flag just a little longer. Maybe you could survive with the pod. It was actually nuts. We got ourselves Alex in here already with a 5V5 1v1 DUELS group already. Let's go, boys. Alex first up for the day. Hello, bro, from Brazil. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one, my dude. And I will never change covenants again for Warrior Night Fae. Yo, but doesn't Bajura play Night Fae? We got Talarion on the stream that played Night Fae Warrior, and apparently that shockwave ability slaps. It's just apparently not as bad as people. It's like meta, right? Meta is going to be the Condemn for the massive executes. You got yourself the Kyrian for the Bastion Spear. But I kind of like people that are really good at the game. They just play some enough meta just because they like it. Kind of like how I think I would decide to look up some. I haven't watched PS Hero in quite a bit, dude. The Rogue, and I decided to peep some of his videos, and he got a really good editor, by the way. Really good stuff. Had the editor since like vanilla days, but I didn't really watch his classic PvP. And honestly, it ended up being just like amber spam. You know what I mean? Amber spam, backstab spam. I mean, he's really good. Don't get me wrong. But I watched some of his stuff and I was like, oh, Necrolord as a sub-rogue? Interesting. And he's slapping on it. Proxy me ready. We got ourselves Ath, got a group ready. Let's go with Proxy. And we got ourselves Alex as our first come, first serve. We'll get ourselves my boy Athaman in here as well. Spectator match with Alex and Proximi. Okay. I messed up your name pretty hard, my guy. Hold on. Proxy me. With an I. Alright, first one out, boys. Sent. We get the first sent of the day with a Mugam Bala Arena. Yo, man, so pumped for the duels today. Let's go, Chris. Let's go, my dude. I'm excited as well. What the hell? Can I? Hold on. Almost had it. Arena calls. We actually got an arena quest in here. That's funny. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, let's swap out into our duels playlist, man. I love me some NCS, but let's go to the duels playlist immediately, dude. Let's go, boys. Switch. We got ourselves team 2 set up and ready to go with Sesbob playing on that Affliction Warlock. We're going to be throwing out the cesspool of dots and as an Affliction. I like the skull you have going on there too. We got ourselves Hawk as a Elemental Shaman with Belladari as a two-hand. Ooh, that place is actually getting buffed in just a couple of days by 2%. With the Maw Mount as a Windwalker, we got ourselves Proxy, and we got ourselves Ngashi with a Marksman Hunter play style. On the other team, we got a 4-man. Hopefully the 5th will get in there with Unspoffable, with Christina going to be going out first. In the back, we have ourselves Kedem as a marksman, as well as Dirks coming in as a sub-rogue. Christina going to be opening up onto your boy Belladari, as he's going to trinket out of you, and immediately seeing the big cooldowns coming out of Christina. Going to be a trinket out of Elixir Karma, thrown on as the thorns come out. Christina looking to bail out of there. Does use Ursol, and that's going to be quite a lot of mobility combined with that Ursol. Getting out of there in that stack form with a Soul Shade, blinking away from the Monk, should be able to maintain the momentum. Belladari did pop off a lot of cooldowns. That is a trinket getting used. That's also the Zuwen, as well as the image of Storm, Earth, and Fire with a wall rotating right now. I don't really know if he only had a wall rolling or did he just use it. But looks like maybe he's either pre-walling or walled some of the damage from Casita. That is a lot of defenses and offensives. With Karma, everything has been exhausted. Belladari is sitting actually kind of naked out in the arena with a massive convo going in. Is that enough? It is going to be enough. The big bites come out. No trinket, no defenses, nada. And Christina taking him out with a massive convoke. Says Bob going to be up next on team 2. Again, team 1 is still missing one person. We're still hoping they're able to maybe somehow zone in. Maybe they missed the queue. Maybe they skipped the queue. Maybe they decided they have something else to do. But next is going to be Says Bob as Affliction. Looks like no pet playstyle for Says Bob. That's going to be the pet sacrifice, most likely playing either the Blueberry for the wall, the extra health increase, the rallying cry from Blueberry, or maybe an interrupt from the Stalker. That's going to be a Miracle into Christina as the dots are rolling. Says Bob, get us the dots back up into Christina. Massive haze ball with the Dark Soul's ability with Shadow, missing the stun, but doesn't have Raptures. That's going to be a massive slow onto Christina. Power shifting out of that slow. And Says Bob was able to get a bunch of blasts into Christina with a Malefic Rapture, but Christina is going to be able to get out of there chilling. I think he still has a Corruption on him, but he shouldn't have any other dots rolling. Agony Dispellable did throw down Ursuls in case Says Bob was going to chase. It looks like Says Bob got himself a bit of a reset on health. Is doing okay for now. The dots should be falling off of Christina, and Says Bob is going to have to think about when is he wanting to trinket, when is he on the wall. He hasn't used the dark layer yet. Trinkets out of that opener from Christina could go for a trinket themselves, but it's going to be a trinket out of the Fury. Interrupted Says Bob on Shadow, going in for a bunch of damage. That's going to be the Night Fae, trying to see if he can blink away from Christina. Boarding back up. Christina does not take the bait though. Big bites back until Says Bob as he goes in for a wall. Bashing that fear as the dark layer does come out, and Says Bob using a defensive, but not much you can really do to maximize the output of that defensive. Is not going to attack, but Christina cannot get those free casts in there. Is still taking lots and lots of damage from health, and it looks like they do run the Blueberry because they did have a rallying cry effect on them earlier, and now that the rallying cry effect is gone, Their health is not as big as it was, but the shield with demon armor is stacking up little by little. Christina popping up a bit of mobility, but still has dots rolling. Decides, you know what? Maybe I should back up. Says Bob is getting a bunch of healing recovery. I think there was a Warlock Hellstone getting used. Should have a Mortal Coil for this next go. Christina still dotted up, cannot get herself a proper restyle, and is going to have to sit the CC from the Warlock here. Mortal Coil into a fear. UA get established. That's all the dots. And says Bob should be able to land the Shadow Fury, and that's going to be a Soul Rot right after. All the dots into Christina. Malefic Rapture should do a lot of damage. Christina does go for a Dispel on that Agony immediately. And it's going to get himself a regrowth. But the dots is still rolling. Does land the opener in between of dot ticks, however. Going for a big old bite onto says Bob. It looks like we do get a 5th back onto the other team, and it's going to be Croc. Croc up. The says Bob getting taken down. The pod should not be enough to hold him, as Christina will be able to get the big old bites in there, taking him out. Almost got the pod off too. Almost got the pod off too. Proxy up next as a Fire Mage, triple shield legendary as per standard. And that's going to be the, I guess the 5th is going to be number 5 now. Croc, what's up, man? How you doing, my dude? Christina looking to maybe open up to Proxy, actually backing out as they're going for the AoE in case they get to clip the Feral out of stealth. It looks like it's not going to be happening. So he's going to have to wait it out. Coming in at the Feral without any dampening just yet. Open to bar Christina, taking a little bit of the damage from the Fiery Shield. Breath does not really stop Christina, does get to break out of the Breath. Meteor slamming down. Proxy looking to maybe spell steal a bunch of buffs from Christina. Probably has something with the hots rolling. Gonna be a big old bite. Christina gets a trick out of Proxy out of nowhere. I don't even know why he tricked it. A combustion coming out from Proxy, but Ursos is gonna stop him in place. Trying to see if he can Night Fae over to Christina, and that's gonna be Night Fae for Night Fae, Soul Shape for Soul Shape, staying ahead of the mage as best as possible, landing a restart with a rake opener. And Christina should be able to take a commendable lead in this duel for a little bit of time. As Christina popping in the bear from Greater Pyre, not happening. Does get a blink, but the fire locked out with a Skull Bash. Ring of Frost should actually be able to land fully. And that's going to be a free G-Pie to Christina's face unless they go for a Trinket Bash. Trying not to let this mage get any kind of advantage. That's going to be Time Warp for Proxy. Should be able to gain a lot of health out of Time Warp. Do they wait for it? Actually, maybe waited a little bit too long. Wait, still in Time Warp, Ice Block. They actually, I feel like they overlapped too many defenses there. That was a cauterize that did not need to happen. Could have Time Warp right before you procced it. Cauterize proc for the full duration. Got yourself an Ice Block. So it's 3 major defensive use at once. I feel like if you just altered timed a little bit early, he could have denied the Cauterize, saved the Ice Block for later, could have gotten the Breath, and maybe got some other CC chain onto Christina after. But that's a lot of defensive just gone. Christina does get him out with a big old Brutal Slash. And that's going to be a massive Meteor. Does Breath him while Meteor. The bar set is available for Christina. I mean, he has every way of dealing with the mage right now. Unless Proxy can get himself a proper setup with the Breath Ring, I feel like there's not much they can really do. Trying to go for Ring of Frost. Christina bailing out of there, trying to fireball. Do they use the fireballs to gain combustion faster? It doesn't look like they're running the honor talent for it, so they're just fireballing for PvE damage. Trying to get Papyrus onto Christina, actually doing quite a number onto the health. We are almost at that 7-minute mark with 10% dampener rolling in it, so for Christina, maybe trying to maintain your health might be a good choice. Just trying to stay ahead of the competition as best as possible. Does get a reopener to Proxy, who's back up at full health. Does have combustion back up. Ultra time available. Does use ultra time to gain a lot of health back. Pyroblast are coming out. Big damage. Has the Fire Blast rolling too. Big combustion, but looks like that's got to be Christina getting the self-healing rolling so early. Where by the time the end of the combustion, we're seeing the end of that burst. Is basically over. And Proxy with a double biter. Christina does get a pod, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Christina so far has been able to deal with pods fairly easily. Big old bite into that one. Trying to get the Brutal Slashes in. If they somehow just don't get the pod, I will be surprised. Hawk is going to be up next as an Elemental Shaman. Is he going to be able to wrangle up a kitty cat? I believe he could. The lasso is quite strong against ferals. Plus, we are dipping into that 50% dampening where Christina has been able to utilize healing quite well. But Christina does have a Trinket coming back very, very soon. Actually, welcome back very, very soon. Trinket is available. Hawk picking up the eye. And should be able to see Christina around the corner. Or did it pick up an eye? I feel like there should have been an eye there. I guess they didn't, because otherwise it would totally see Christina right there. Unless they're just not even thinking about it. So who did pick up the eyes then? Was it the mage at some point then? was hard to track. 8 minutes into this duel, 19% dampener. But the eyes are not there, and that's going to be an opener by Crusader, taking down the tone immediately. Hog does knock Crusader back, but there goes the leap from the Feral. Big ol' bite starting up immediately with Crusader into a trinket out of that lasso, and Hawk might have to go for a defensive here. Still saving that wall for now. Gets a stun into Crusader, trying to go for a heal, does not get it. Kanmo coming out. Hawk does get himself a wall, but it's not enough as Crusader does get to bite them down. Taking him out pretty quickly, and Gashi is going to be up next. Does get a Hunter's Marker to Christina, is playing that Marksman Hunter. We'll see if there is a Kyrian Marksman Hunter, because if he's somehow able to stop Christina in place, get the Resonator Arrow right next to him, he might be able to go for the big wombo combo. He does see the Feral. Better refresh the Hunter's Mark, because that thing only has a 30-second duration. If you can wait out a little longer, there goes the refresh. Try to throw down the trap. Christina not taking the bait yet. Did he see the trap? I feel like does he see the trap? I feel like he should be able to. Normally when a hunter is in stealth like this, you usually see it. Resonator Arrow, Casino, I think, dodging it. Nagashi can't get the arrow, the damage through the wall. You're actually missing that Resonator Arrow. Super unfortunate, as goes his burst. And Crusader should be able to get an opener. He does still have Hunter's Mark, should be able to see the Feral. Drop down a trap, but in vain as Crusader just leapt right over it. Trinkets that stun laid. That's going to be a bursting shot. Kind of failed it into a scatter shot. Crusader maybe has some damage as good as the aim shots. Trying to make the damage work. Rapid fire, but the bleeds are rolling on Gashi already. Does go for the clear with a Kyrian a little bit late though. Late Trinket, late Kyrian Potion might actually have secured the win for Crusader here. But we'll see if Gashi might be able to get out of here. He still might be able to come out of this on top, throwing down a flare, almost getting Christina out, having to go the long way, reopener onto the Hunter, and that should seal the deal with a dot. It's going to be a feint death for Gashi for a second. Scatter shot onto Christina. Does he get to go for resonant shot finally? He needs a resonant shot go. At some point, he's going to need to do it. Otherwise, I don't think he's going to win this. Throw down trap. That is stop Christina just leaping right over it. Turtle coming out, but as goes the bleeds, and Christina taking out the whole enemy team as a good old jungle cat. The big Night Fae bite placed. I actually should have been 5 kills, but because of the pod actually, if you go down and you're in a pod and the person kills the pod then kills you. So technically the pod steals those kills, but that would have been a 1v5 by a Feral Druid easily. Might have to get Christina's team in there pretty early on back in the duels. Let's get Krager and Atham in real quick, yeah? Yeah, we got to get you guys back in as soon as possible. Let's get Krager and Atha, and we'll get you Alex as first up in a duel, man. Actually, should Christina's team play just now? Because that's the team that only had one guy play. Should they play next, or should it be Atha and Krager? Guys, chat, what do you think? What should we do? Because I feel like I think they needed a chance. Like, his team didn't get to play, but Krager also got a team. He's been waiting, right? He's been ready. We're hitting the 40 mark on EU. Bro, EU slamming out them duels. Did you see that SAS buff? Yeah, I did, dude. Video on this stuff tomorrow, man. Video on this stuff tomorrow. Which class is easily the strongest for PvE? They can find the mythical groups. Fire Mage. If you had to pick one, the blast and damage is now Fire Mage. If you want a melee, Outlaw Rogue. Or Monk. Monk's are pretty good too. This Outlaw have a lot of utility. How do you pick will participate? They make a 5-man team and I get them in there. Easy as that, Michael. You guys think there's some kind of like a stringy sign-up process, or some kind of like a line, or maybe like some kind of a subscriber membership thing that we do here to get into 5v5 1v1 duels? Bro, you see the duels, you join duels. That's all it is. Literally, we do them on all FG. Like, literally, groups are up on LFG all the time. We do them every... I mean, some of you are probably new and you never actually watched, like, how to get in or knew how to get in. You just watch the duels or whatever. No, there's no, like... We do it as easy as possible, dude. Easiest way is the easiest way. Easy is easy, you know what I mean? Krager? Yeah, I just... Okay, we'll do Krager and Athel. We'll get Alex back in immediately. Alex, hold tight. We'll get Krager and Atham in here and we'll get you in immediately. Because your team used to get a chance to play because only you got to play in that team. We'll get you guys up as soon as this duel is over. Blackrock Hold. I like this arena. Huge fan, man. Oh, come on. Alright, I'll just accept. Just because I don't have it popping up every single time. Pin it? Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah, pin it. I almost banned it again. It's so easy to ban it. You click it, it says report, remove, put user in timeout. And they are all R's and P's. So first, I swear I gotta be dyslexic, dude. I see letters R's and P's and I'm like, same letter. Reading, what's that? So Twitch, what do we got? We got ourselves team 2 with... We got ourselves... What is the name? Try to kite me. Yeah, we got, I like that name. Try with Cragger in the back. We got ourselves Leto with Catalyst as a Night Fae. Warlock, yeah, Demonology too. Wait, Demonology, Night Fae, yo. And we got ourselves Trace. Okay, looks like Try to Kite Me gonna be first up versus Jellyfy. Jellyfy is gonna be on team Fruity Dad with Belarusius, Fruity, and Jellyfy. Going for a Trinket versus Try to Kite Me. Try going for big damage onto the Thorns to win, and everything lined up. Not going for the Karma, saving it for later. Going for Diffuse Magic instead. Jellyfy under a lot of pressure. Having to wall. There's no Trinket available. Jellyfy could be in a really bad spot. Does get a maim, and that's going to be Ursos onto Try. Try rolling out of the Ursos. It looks like Jellyfy should be able to make some distance to win. Is still pressuring quite a bit. Try does get a nice port around the corner, and Jellyfy, I think, is going to be going down. The pot is not enough to save him. That's going to be Copyfian in the back of team 1 with Athom. Man, full Venti, boys. I do like that look. Belly is going to be first. Right after that Feral on, I guess, second really, on team 1. Try going for a little bit of a defensive play. Parry available, going for a Shockwave. And that's going to be that Karma. Try looking for a bit of a counter pressure with that Karma. This is where Belisarius, I keep messing your name up, going down. Apparently I thought he would actually need to get a defensive. I was expecting a rallying cry, defensive stance, maybe a fear, leap away. I was expecting for Namsroy to actually play some kind of a defensive there. I thought he would be okay. Try did have weapons of order, so that is a big mastery increase for damage. But I felt like he would be alright. Gonna be a port onto the board with Athom, and double Doorway of Shadows is available for this Paladin though. So Athom is looking to just vent her down. Try with the blind. Chickens out of it with the Hodjo to Try. That actually might be the big wombo combo. Does Athom have enough damage? Livestream chickens out of it immediately with that adaptation. Looking for Try. Got the hammer throwing. It's gonna be Try actually getting massive health. I think a Warlock Hellstone came into that one. Incap onto Athom as he had massive damage rolling. And actually, the monk survives barely, but they do survive that onslaught of damage. Athom setting up Ashen Hollow. Does it hit through? It looks like it hits through the wall. Looks like Try is actually getting hit by it. And looks like he's going to have just to reposition away from that whole side of the arena. That's a massive zonal ability that Athom has. Especially good if he's able to kind of pincer maneuver the person in that zone. And kind of hodge him and get free hammers in there. Because while the zone is active, basically are in God mode as a Pala. Lots of hammers of the righteous getting used. That's a lot of holy power generation. Also lots of healing and damage over time to the enemy. Massive Giga Consecration. Try going for a little bit of mobility, porting into the room, running out, and Atho still on that chase. Try landing the Fist of Furies. And there goes the Hodge from Atho. Does not look like he has enough damage to maybe take down the monk just yet. Needs to work for the damage a little bit longer. Big damage coming now with a Shield of Vengeance for Atho. That's going to be Shield of Vengeance procking out the Karma out of Try. Forcing out the Shield of Vengeance slap back at Try. And Athoman forced to bubble. Big defensive getting used out of our Retribution friend with weapons of order being used by Try, but a blind by Atho, looking for a bit of a recovery instead of going aggressive with a blind. But does recover quite a lot of health out of that one. We're not completely gone and done, boys. There's still a massive hammer hanging over Try. Wait, what? What? Hello? That was a big kick. What? That's like 30% to 0. Uh-huh. What? Was that a critical strike? Weapons of order hurts, apparently. Wow. I did not realize the monk would hit that hard. What just happened? Is there a Lego that makes him do more damage with that or something? I don't understand. In fact, I don't even know what Lego this man's running. Oh, that was a lot. That was just a lot to take in. And Athoman almost had Try there, dude. Almost had it, and then apparently from 30% to 0. Didn't have to touch the death him or nothing. Gonna be Fruity Dad up next with a little bit of this Magician. Gonna try to see if he can pull a Houdini on Try and make him disappear. Trying to land a Ring of Frost onto Try. Looks like it's not going to be happening. Going to have to go for another poly. G-Pie to the face is not going to happen as Try is going to have a port available. No tricking out Try though, so Fruity still has an advantage where he might be able to get himself a big setup on him. This is a Fire Mage after all. They do have quite a lot of survivability, and we're not even going into the dampener just yet, boys. 4 minutes, 30 seconds, and that's going to be Fruity mounting up on the Mom Mount. I really got to get myself one of those, dude. I really got to try to see if I can burn through the layer 8s and see if I can pick up the Mount. I think that'll be really, really cool, because first of all, it makes them all much more bearable. Second, it looks dope. Especially when we get the Maw sets, which I think might be in the future patches. The legendary pieces will eventually be able to wear all of them as a transmog. And ride on the Maw mount with those things, oh, it's gonna look wicked. G-Pie available for Fruity. As they're going in for a massive, massive set. A big combustion available. Try is gonna get a port already into the room. Gonna be Fruity blinking in into an in-cap, stopping a lot of his bursts. And so Lexium just trying to suppress the damage out of the Fire Mage. The shields are still holding on strong as Fruity. Got himself a couple more pyros. Still had combustion for a little bit longer. Big breath onto Try. As Try does have every defensive available. Fruity bailing out for a second. Still continue to go for as many instants as possible. Try to go for Mirrors of Torment. Going to be an interrupt by Try. Doesn't stop Fruity. And that should be a pretty big freeze with a G-Pie. And Try has no response here. No chicken available. Mirrors of Torment after Try goes in for damage. He'll actually be rooted eventually as well as silenced, which is going to put a lot of pressure on his self-heal capabilities. Does go for a Karma against Fruity Dad, who's trying not to do a lot of damage into that Karma. The shields are there to hold on strong for a little bit longer. The images are available as well. That's going to be Try getting silenced as well as rooted. Maybe Fruity can make a play out of it, but Try just didn't go super far. Fruity super low. Could be a cauterize out of Fruity. And Try is going to for a bit of that health reset. Man, that's a little bit of pressure out of this monkey. You could just say just a little bit of giga damage here. Invis available for Fruity. Looks like he actually got himself a full invis off, only with one shield keeping him afloat. Breath onto Try with a poly. Does have a trinket if he needs to. Fruity isn't super far enough away, so he could trinket in cap. That's exactly what he's gonna do. Lex super available. Fruity does have a blink out of it, and that's gonna be Wesley with the dono, my man.
How did your day go today? I hope good because mine went a little shitty. My expensive jacket's zip broke off as soon as I came home from work.
Fruity getting hit with a massive damage, cauterized into an icebox. Sorry to hear that, Wesley. The zipper broke, man. Can we get a hashtag Wesley in chat? I'm having a good day, Wes. Can we get a hashtag Wesley in chat, boys, for the stream? Showing our appreciation for the wonderful donation, my man. My guy. Yo, sorry about that, dude. This jacket zip broke, dude. I hate that. Because I don't know how to repair jackets or zippers while I'm at it, dude. I don't know how to repair any of that, dude. Yo, can we get a hashtag Wesley, boys? In hopes that he has a better day than he did today. Going to be poured out of Try. Did not get frozen. As Fruity did go for big damage. That is a full combustion. All the time available. Try to see if he can walk away from Try. As it drops in Zueno onto Fruity. Doesn't drop Try on the heels. Pyroblasts are chunking him out. But Try looks like he barely takes damage. Sat next to the Ultrasound the whole time. Mirrors of Torment getting hit with a leg sweep. Fruity does have a blink for it. Nova onto Try. Does have a Tiger's Lust for it to break out. That's going to be a massive Whirling Dragon Punch into a touch of death. And there goes Fruity. Without any defenses. Try just taking him out. With Copy Finn as the last one left on Team 1. Try doing a lot of damage here. Just absolutely dominant as a Windwalker Monk. Can an Enhancement Shaman beat him, though? This Copy just kind of sticks it to the ground with that in-cap. It's playing that vent there. You can see the full set going on. No shoulders, though. But it does look good. Looks like Try is going to bail away for, I think, a little bit more recovery in the other room. What are we looking at? Cooldown Trinket available almost for Try. Is there anything that's actually spooky about Enhancement Shamans for monks? I feel like that might not be. Ascapia is just trying to find Try. Picking up the eyes. Not really sure if that's going to do anything for him. But he is going for it. I actually wonder, can enhancements do enough? I think Try's maybe waiting for a Karma. I think it's what he's really trying, is just to make sure that if there's any cooldowns ever from Copy, you can always just burn a Karma and deal with it pretty easily. Copy under a lot of pressure, trying to Doorway of Shadows to actually get a CC onto Try, enough to get himself the pets up and running into massive defenses going out with the big Doom Winds Legendary rolling up, but Try did have a Karma for it. Copy either needs to burn through a Karma or maintain himself in self-heals, trying to see if he can do that. Earthshield available into a Panda Racial Trinket coming out for Try. Does have a Trinket Blackout Kick for Copy. Had the Karma just for the burst out of an enhancement, and boy, That was a lot of damn. Is it really only 4 kills? I feel like there should have been 5, right? Oh, one of them probably was the pod, wasn't it? Probably one of them was a pod, but that's a 1v5 by the Monk. I feel like we need to put the Team Cracker versus Team Alex. Both of those teams only had one person who was able to play. I think we have to do that, boys. Yeah, I think we have to get you guys in here, man. Alex had a 1v5. Team Cracker had a 1v5. We gotta put them against each other. You know what I mean? See who's the best. You know what I mean? Alrighty. Let me say that real quick. We'll get it up and running, boys, yeah? EU SL 41, I think? Yo. Proxy, 3 out of 5. Alright, Proxy. See if you can get yourself a team, man. We'll get you in here immediately. Alex and Cracker, boys. Is this EU or NA? This is EU. Are you anybody of the EU region, boys? EU duels for the day. Friday is always EU. Saturday NA. Brian Cuban might be know me as Polda from Legion 5 if I remember. Brian Cube Polda. I'm really bad with names, I'll be honest. But I think that rings a bell. Hi there, my guy. Hope you're having a good one. You want to join the duel sometime? We still host them. If you were there for the Legion ones. Man, Legion duels. I remember those way back in the day. Chrysler in there? I don't know if Chrysler is here. Maybe he's doing a reviews right now. It is kind of late in the EU. What are those nameplates? Those are just Blizzard nameplates for the spectator mode. That's not an add-on or nothing, boys. Switch. We got ourselves team 2 ready to go with Krager on that team. It looks like they actually did a swap. We got Letter in the back. We got ourselves Kata with Alfuera instead of that Monk. That Monk, I guess, was a one and done kind of guy. And we got ourselves Trace as the Feral of that team. Be out of cat from unless you're doing, by the way, my guy. Thank you. We got ourselves team 1 with Unspoffable. We got ourselves Dirks as a sub-rogue with Kadam in the back, as well as Christina. And it looks like whoever's the 5th on this team, which I believe is a Monk, is kind of lagging like he was last time. But hopefully they'll get in here early enough. It looks like it's going to be Catalyst first up. Team Demonology. Demonology Warlock trying to go for a Vilephian around the corner. I don't know if they'll be able to get the Vilephian to attack Insufferable behind the corner. Is going to get the Demon Doggers in there. All the pets attack Insufferable with a stun. Try to go for a Tyrant immediately. Early Tyrant play. Which maybe he's just trying to put Tyrant on cooldown as much as possible. And I guess the Tyrant is going to get beefed up with all those pets. That is actually a Felguard in there, the second one. So there is quite a lot of pets. Stunning all those pets around the corner. Has big Instacast ready for Catalyst. Straight gets into an interrupt on that Fear. Does not land the big Zabs though. And Catalyst looking for a bit of the line of sight. Going for the Night Fairy ability with that. Reflect on the Zabs on Insufferable. Who's going to have to go for some healing surges, but the pets are still giving a lot of pressure to Insufferable. Stun landing as Catalyst rounds the bend. Lasso trinkets out of it. Wall available for the Shaman as more fears and Demon Bolts fly out. Catalyst, 4 squad, a lot of cooldowns on Insufferable. That's a wall and trinket gone. That is a trinket for Catalyst gone. Does have a wall of his own if necessary. That's going to be a port set up and ready to go in case he needs it. With a Fire Elemental in the Meteor, not a bad idea. Still maintaining the pets on Insufferable, who just needs to maintain his own health. And as long as he can do that, he'll be okay. The pets do a lot of free damage. Mortal into a Fear spam. Looks like Insufferable doesn't sit that Fear long. Was that a Tremor? Big Lava Burst onto Catalyst, though. Was that like 3 of them just now? That was a lot of Lava Bursts. I didn't even realize he was setting up for a big Lava Burst play just now. The pet is still doing quite a bit of damage to the Warlock. Does land a Fear onto Insufferable with that Reflect. You can't really interrupt it unless you purge it. Stun on the Lasso, interrupting the Lasso play completely. Into a Soul Rod on top of Insufferable is going to have to go for some healing surges. The dot with those pets together, by the way, actually hurts. Catalyst getting interrupted on fire could actually cast, unless it changed the cast of the Vilephian. Does take down the Tremor, the Capacitor Totem before the stun goes off and Insufferable gets sent with the Fury. Yet again, more pets coming out for Catalyst as he got a lot of them behind the pillar, just botting and attacking the Chamois. Although he's able to deal with him fairly well. Earth Shield keeping him afloat. Catalyst does use Soul Shape in order to blink at Insufferable. Does go for a bit of CC. I think he was trying to go for a blink in order to interrupt the self-heals so the pets can actually get the full damage in. And that's going to be the second Felguard joining the fight against Insufferable. Catalyst probably setting up for a big Tyrant here. I would imagine. Into a Reflect. Fear. Maybe a Tyrant trying to come out. Insufferable does not sit the Fear long. Does have a Tremor for it. Insufferable does not sit long at all though. And that's going to be a big Lava Burst chasing Catalyst with a Gateway. Insufferable does go for some setups there with a Lava Burst, and that is a lot of damage. which is going to put Catalyst on a little bit of a back foot. Unless they can just AFK away from Unstoppable, does not get to find a way to stop the lasso. Has to go for a late shrink and super low in health. Will probably need to wall any kind of next go from the Shaman. Mortal Coil does give him catch up a little bit of health. It's going to be tricky from Unstoppable. Staying on top of Catalyst as best as possible. Catalyst doesn't look like he has a way to interrupt Unstoppable. I do wonder what kind of honor talents he's running, because it doesn't look like he's running for a Fell Hunter who has the interrupt. While available, as Earthshock come out, the Tyrant is there, but the Tyrant doesn't want to do any kind of casting. Wants to get into melee. He keeps walking Unstoppable, just doesn't want to start casting at all. I hate how dumb the pet is sometimes. He's just staring at the Shaman. He's literally walking up and he's like, what's up, bro? They're just staring at him. Why? Catalyst with not a lot of defensive to the left does have Tremor immediately there for that fear. Stuns that lasso and should be able to get a fear onto Unstoppable at the very least. But the Catalyst is not a good spot. Mortal Coil is the only thing that's keeping him alive right now. Every time he can get it going. Also Warlock House, if he has a Drain Life finally available, and is going to be able to send some pets Unstoppable. Again, he's just having such a hard time dealing with the Ellie Shaman. The self-healing over Ellie Shaman is just so much greater than the damage the Catalyst can put out. I think he does himself like a really burstic wombo combo. Felguard, like the second one, all those pets with a Tyrant and like clean CC chains on the Catalyst. Stun into a Mortal Coil and let the pets kind of just tear at the Shaman. I think this is the only thing he can do. Does get the stun onto Unstoppable though on that lasso, so he's at least able to deal with him for a little bit, at least able to CC him. And that's going to be second stun with a Felguard. It's going to be a trinket out. No, it's not a trinket out Unstoppable. Look like he got out of the stun really early. Mortal Coil before the damage can come out with the Stormbringer Lightning Bolts. It looks like Catalyst is having to play this super defensively. Tiring up, but I don't know if that can really do much for him. Unstoppable is just staying in Ghost Wolf, trying to maximize the damage. At least the Tyrant is at least trying to cast at him. At least the Tyrant is at least trying to get a cast off at range, since he does have casts. At least he's making an attempt. Unstoppable pushing in, light lasso, no way to break it. Does burn a trinket though. Big zaps coming out. Catalyst not in a good spot. Could be maybe a big setup. Unstoppable just needs a little bit of damage. There goes the lava burst. Almost has it. Does drop down a tremor. Catalyst. They're actually just exchanging as many instant casts as they have. Unstoppable just doesn't have the damage to finish him off just yet. Could go for a big proc with a lava burst. That's going to be the pod. If Catalyst can somehow survive this, he'll be okay. He still has control of the pet. Maybe he could go for a stun Unstoppable. Wait, does he get the pod? Almost. I think he almost might have gotten the pod. If he had the stun by the pet, I think he might have been in a good spot. If he just got the stun from the pet there, I think he might have been okay. And the next step is going to be Leto. I don't understand what else Catalyst could have done. I feel like this is so much different than it was in BFA. Demonology used to be able to get a bunch of imps, massive Tyrant, and slap. And it felt like last week we had Yassid doing exactly that too. Getting big old pets. And the pets just did so much more damage. Maybe it's just the stats. Going to be a scatter shot onto the Shaman. As Leto gets hit with a stun by the Earth Elemental. Wall available for Unstoppable for the Hunter's Burst. Lasso right after. And Leto's going to take quite a lot of damage, actually. Having to go for big cooldowns himself. I don't even know what he interrupted, but it's going to be big zaps available. Has a rapid fire with line of sight away from Unstoppable. That's going to be a couple aim shots back to back, but Leto just doesn't survive the Unstoppable Shaman burst. Just with a big old zaps with the Stormbringer as well as, or Stormkeeper, together with the Lava burst back to back Maldraxx's ability, Primordial Bolt. And we'll see if Alfera can maybe tussle with us muscle. As they're going for a lot of damage on Unstoppable. Trying to land a Hex. Massive Haunt coming out with a Night Fae Alfera. Taking down the Shaman. Just went for the full burst setup. Everything used. Massive Covenant ability used immediately. And Dirk's Bride is going to be next. Looks like he actually might have gotten clipped by Alfera by one of the dots or something. Into a cheap shot. Trinkets out of immediately. Dirk's Trinkets into in a prison. And Alfera just trying to deny the 100% crit setup by the Rogue. Is going to hit him with a slow, throwing down the glaives, does rush away as the shadow step comes out. Looks like he's going to be on the chase, getting interrupted on that I-beam, and trying to maximize the damage. And Dirk's trying not to let him catch a reset properly. Does he have blur? No, he doesn't have blur. Alfera does still have a darkness though. And as long as they're able to get the Rogue out of stealth, there might be an okay spot. We're still waiting for Team 1 to get their 5th person in. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get him in there. And Alfera, I think, is kind of just panicking, and he got the Karagwa look. Got the big old Krog with soul shape. Does he get the rogue out? Looks like he does. The rogue still gets that 100% crit opener. Big Eviscerate's coming out. A Pharaoh with another cheap shot into a pod. Does Dirks have enough damage? Looks like he does have Shadow Dance available. And down he goes. Trey's just gotta wait down. You wanted to go in. You wanted to come out. You wanted to do it, but he's like, you know what? I have to wait a little bit longer. I just have to wait. I have to wait. It's a pod. He's not actually dead yet. I can't just open up on the guy. And I appreciate you guys catching yourselves doing this. You know what I mean? I do appreciate you guys. Derek's looking for a way to open on Trace. Looks like he's going to go for a very simple opener. With Trace getting a bash, it's going to be Thorns up and running with a blind, but Derek's to get himself a free reset. But before that, Trace does burn a trinket. Does Derek's have advantage? He does not. Evasion is available. Kidney shot is up. Does he still have the damage? It doesn't look like he needs 100% crit Lego. It just needs to go for burst. The sub rogue can be beat with Krager last one up on team 2. Even though his team has more members than team 1, they're just still getting torn to shreds. I mean, starting off with a shaman and now into the rogue. And that's going to be Krager popping off defenses immediately with enraged regeneration. Trying to see if he can land a charge onto Dirks. Does intercept the rogue before he lands himself behind the pillar. But looks like the slows and the shift comes out. And that's going to be a bash and spear onto Dirks. Trying to see if he might be able to deal with it. Can't really go anywhere. I think the only way to deal with a spear if you Cloak of Shadows it. But Dirks does not have it. And looks like the rogue might be able to catch himself a reset. Krager does have a second. Oh, charge with a... Actually, leap with a Raging Blow charge. Not a real charge. Another leap. I think he got himself a triple leap legendary, boys. Oh my goodness. Krager, is that actually the Lego you're running? Are you a flag carrier for RBGs, dude? He just might be, bro. Triple leap legendary as a Fury Warrior? Actually could be nuts. Gonna be a binding shot with Kedem going in for a massive rapid fire setup. Krager's just gonna have to find a way to deal with this damage. Actually somehow surviving it. Not in the kill shot range or anything. Big rapid fire still flying out by Kedem. And Krager does go for reflect, but that's gonna be scatter shot instead. Has the pet at least to get some healing off of. That's gonna be a lot of bloodthirst off that pet. Kedem going in for a big kill shot. Doesn't get it. Krager is still alive. Does not get the bursting shot. Knockback, but the knockback trap still lands. And Krager needs, I think, to taunt the pet. Try to see if he can hit Kedem. Looks like the pet almost died. I thought the pet died for a second. Might actually have to go and kill the pet if possible. Get himself a victory rush or something. Krager's super low in health. Enrage regen coming up very soon. Not a lot of health to really work with here. Does get himself a little bit of that rapid fire. Reflect on the trap and ignore pain, keeping him alive just by hair longer. Does have himself in rage regen. Charge into a heal. Does still maintain himself. Does he have the leaps? Looks like leap 1 is available. Body shot coming out. As long as he can land inside Kedem, he'll be okay. And Kedem going in for resonant arrow yet again. Looks like the pet either getting taken out or killed. And Kedem does get the rapid fire behind the wall. That was so much damage back to back, boys. So much damage back to back. And I'm kind of sad that the shaman left. I was trying to see what kind of damage he did that game. I was trying to see how much damage and how much healing he did overall. But damn, alrighty. Do we have ourselves another team? Farrell's Buff Farrell? Love you, bro. What's up, Taz? How you doing, man? Love you too, guy. Alright, let's just get another up and running. Athen used to play, and Proxy probably needs a team as well. Any groups in Alley? Yeah, we got Atherman. And I believe we also got Alex. No, wait. Yeah, Atho. Actually, no. I think Atho's team is the only one on Alliance. If you guys have a group and you want to make one on Alliance, you're more than welcome to make one. Literally, if you make one in LG, call it something like 5V5 1V1 DUELS and a custom PvP where people can find you. Like go to LFG, player versus player, premium group, custom PvP. Find a group. Top number 5, enter. See if you have a group. See if you see one. If you don't, Cassandra got one. You can go to start a group and call it something like 5V5 1V1 Duels Dalaran. Get people in there. Call it something like that so when people search for number 5, they see the 5V5 in there. And yeah, make yourself a group and you're more than welcome to play. Just add me out on Real ID if you're the leader of the group. I'll get you guys in here. Can I join this one? Yuzuki, my man. If you played these before, you know how these work, dude. LFG, man. LFG, dude. We got ourselves Atho. Let's get Atho and Proxy in here, man. Let's get Atho and Proxy. Get them to duel one another. Because those guys have not played each other. And if we have variety for the groups, we'll try rotating you guys out. But otherwise, we're probably going to go with the first come, first serve. And just start queuing you guys at each other back to back to back. Can I make one? You guys are more than welcome to. I'm in a group with one Bang X. Okay, as long as one of you guys has me add me on Reality. As long as somebody of that group has me add on Reality, I can queue you guys in. I just need to make sure the lead I have added on Reality, and that's really it. Otherwise, we're all set. Let's see. Grata Ooh. Obliv? Wait, are you... is that Obliv? Or is that another Obliv? Because we only have Obliv. We have Obliv on NA. We have Obliv the Mage on EU. Obliv, is that you? Obliv Best Mage? Is that Obliv? Or is that another Obliv? It's hard to tell. That's Obliv. I'm Obliv. Perfect. I think it's perfect then. Hey, that works out. Yeah, wait, all you guys usually have different names. You'll be Obliv in WoW, somebody else in Reality, and Billy Bob Joe in YouTube chat, dude. And I would just not know, honestly. Switch. We got ourselves team 1 with Belly Sarius? I'm gonna get your name at some point, dude. We got Belly in here though first. Belly, feeling kind of smelly after this rogue puts him in the graveyard. Good thing we're already in Lords of Lordaeron. Maybe he'll come back from the rogue parry available versus Kaluka. As Kaluka goes in for a cloak or Shadow's not really sure what you're going to be cloaking against the warrior with the Night Fade knockdown. Has the X gets on the rogue. Does he have to bleed? Leaping right next to the rogue. Wait, if he almost gets him out, the rogue is out. Wait, the rogue caught so much health back and Belly didn't see him. Out of stealth. Oh no. Belly is kind of jelly of the rogue self-heals. Kaluka just going back into stealth. That's so much CDs. We got ourselves Grata on team 2. With Trotsky, we got ourselves Flying Jacob with Proxy. And the rogue out and about, waiting until he can catch himself up a little bit extra health. Versus Belly, who doesn't even realize he basically had the rogue dead already. If only he knew he was right next to the rogue. If only he looked to the right and got a charge off there, I think he would have been A-okay. But he has such a good go there as a Night Fae warrior. Zerka raging out of this. And Kaluka knows he ain't walking in there. Kaluka did burn a trinket, did burn a vanish. Belly did burn a trinket too. So if Belly can survive this burst, he might be okay. Big damage out of the rogue with a Stormbolt. Belly does have the Warbreaker available into a Blaze Storm. At least he cannot be CC'd. Evasion available for Kaluka. Waiting out, I guess, until the Blaze Storm is out. Cheap shot and Kaluka taking him out. Super. If Belly only knew just how close he was to a win, I think he would have. That's why you got to keep your eyes peeled, boys. Look out for them health bars. You know you had to bleed on the rogue. You know you did. And that's what got the rogue out. Getting the shot onto Copyfin as Kaluka trying to go for a reset. The Ghost Wolves, as well as the Earth Elemental, are not going to let him catch a proper reset. And Copyfin did burn a trinket for this. Kaluka might be able to bait out. Big Kidney shot onto Copy. Trying to go for a lightning bolt from afar. Actually, lightning bolts him down. We went to the team. We also got ourselves Lex. We also got ourselves Atho. With Copy up next. In the back, we got ourselves Jellyfy. Ooh, nice mount. Jellyfy with a mount. And looks like next up is going to be Trotsky. You just got to walking at him. He's not even invising him. Kind of, I guess, letting Copy get a melee so he can go for a breath into a Ring of Frost. And probably going to be a G-Pie trying to set it up. Copy does not have a way out of it. Copy is 2. And Trotsky is 2. Big damage coming out for Trotsky. Not even combusting here. Meteor coming in. And Copy got himself an Earth Shield available. And looks like it's not getting spell stolen by Trotsky. At least not yet. Landing the images for a bit of defensive Hex trying to come out. Does take down the Grounding Totem. Interrupting Copy on that Hex. And there goes the Doorway of Shadows. Blinking away from the door. I don't know if Copy has a second door or not. Maybe he goes for 2 doors. Maybe he just goes for 1. Fireballs flying for Trotsky. As Copy goes for a bit of a reset. He just sees himself like a really good setup on the Mage. Slow him down. Maybe take off all those shields. And have a go. But every time you do that, every time you get a melee, Mage is always going to hit you with a breath, poly, and then punish you with a big old G-Pie, unless you had a pre-grounding or something rolling. Ring of Frost coming up on this. Copy is going to take quite a bit of damage here. Does Trotsky go in for a big setup? Combust coming out. Copy better have a defensive. It looks like barely surviving. Trying to go for a healing surge. Does get himself a heal into the shortest CC ever. Trotsky was still with Pirates. Interrupt Copy. And down goes the Shambi. He needed to have a bunch of Maelstroms in order to go for double heals. That's the only way around it. I feel like as a Shaman, you just basically have to always bank a full Maelstrom 5 stack, if not 10 stacks against the Mage. You know, 10 stacks, Lightning Bolt. Otherwise, wait, don't heal. Just always have them banked up in case you need them for emergency. With Lex going out with a big old G-Pie, Trotsky burning through his shields. The shield still held strong through a G-Pie, which is kind of nutty. Maybe Trotsky stole all the shields from Lex. as he got hit with a G-Pie. Just kind of swapping him in. Hey, double shields, you know what I mean? All those shields absorbing the G-Pie. Lex does still land the pyros. That's going to be images slowing down Trotsky little by little. Landing the breath onto Lex. It should be going to be a setup with an interrupt. Lex trying to go for a setup himself. Does land a Trotsky getting interrupted on the polymer. Means he can't actually go for a setup. Big combustion coming down. Trotsky missing that meteor. Still taking massive damage out of the combustion. Does he have survivability? Is that going to be a big defense to get him burned? He is playing the Night Fate. That's going to be Ice Block as the Cauterize comes out. Actually, no. Yes, wait. Yes, it is. Yeah, okay, I looked at the wrong mage for a second. It didn't look like he had that fiery effect from like under his feet from the Cauterize, but I guess he did. Shifting power coming out, so Trotsky should be able to get some cooldowns back faster. Going to be an interrupt onto the polymer. Should be able to get a free poly onto Lex. Lex can't even interrupt it. He's locked on an arcane. He actually cannot interrupt. And there goes the G-Pie by Trotsky with a Ring of Frost. Maybe now he'll have a final go of his own. Has a meteor ready. Hasn't got to use it though. The Pyros and Pyros Fire Blasts are flying. Does get the images available. Looks like one of the images sacrifices itself to a Pyro immediately. Trotsky still under quite a lot of pressure. While he has Alter Time, he's in a good spot. Lex could go for trying to see if he can steal the Alter Time, remove the defensive out of him. I don't know if that's ever a really good idea, unless you maybe go for a Klepto where you take all the buffs at a time. And for mages going mage versus mage, Klepto might be a better option, honestly. Just Klepto and buff from each other. You know, whoever is the second Klepto wins. Gonna be Trotsky blinking away from the Ring of Frost, but looks like both mages are a little bit of a standstill. No one's health is really moving. We are in the 5% dampener, boys. Actually, into the 6-minute mark. It is 5% dampener. I looked at the clock for a second. 6% now. As we're hitting that 6-minute mark very, very soon. Looks like Lex is dropping the meteor randomly. I think these guys are just gonna have to be just throwing out abilities at one another, just poking at each other. It looks like Trotsky actually caught up in quite a bit of health. Does have a Warlock Hellstone on his team, so he's in a pretty decent spot. Poly onto Lex with a G-Bite. Does he have anything to set up for it? Ring of Frost right after. Does land the Ring of Frost. Meteor combustion coming out. Big damage following up. And Lex does go for massive, massive steals of the shield. Tried to land a polymorph onto Trotsky. Has a combust. Gonna be a trick out of Trotsky. It's trying to steal his own combust back. But Lex isn't gonna let him. G-Pie setting up. Trotsky should take the full damage. No shield, so that's actually going to go right into his own health bar. Combust available for Lex. That's going to be Trotsky getting the shields up and running. Lex just looking to maybe continue the onslaught. Does have a meteor around the corner. And into Nova onto Trotsky, taking lots of damage there. Still has the Night Fae ability of the, if he is running the right soulbind, of the pod. Looks like he does get to pod it. Lex is actually going for fireballs on, what is he even fireballing? I'm not even sure. Are the images, are they going to be able to do enough here? Looks like they are. What? Was that just the images? Was that just the images by themselves getting the damage in? Or did the pod just not work? I feel like this should have worked. Gonna be, oh, Infernal coming in by Flying Jacob, playing that Destruction Warlock, going in for some damage of his own. Lex trying to land a Ring of Frost. Should be able to CC the Warlock as well as the pet. Walking away from the Infernal. Actually felt like that's a little too much pressure for him. I might have just want to walk out of there. Maybe Dots is still rolling on him. Looks like Dots or not. Does get himself almost a clean reset. The Rain of Fire comes in. Doing still a lot of damage. Fear from Flying Jacob. Doesn't get stopped. That's going to be Ice Block for Lex. Getting a lot of healing off it. And Flying Jacob still trying to get some casts in there. Just continuing trying to see if he can land and immolate onto Lex as soon as he gets a cast off. Should be able to get an interrupt with the next G-Pie. Trinkets out of this actually. Out of the poly instead. With the Cannibal trying to line up, but Lex is going to have the Blink Port available for Flying Jacob. Cataclysm around the corner, and Lex is going to take a little bit of that extra fire damage around the corner. All the time available. I wonder if the Fellow Hunter can spell steal it. Looks like he actually was able to go. No. It looked for a second like he was able to consume the buff for a second. I saw the clock disappear from the top of his head. But maybe he just disappeared for an effect, or maybe he was stood next to a wall and disappeared. Fear by Flying. Trying to see if he can land. He's going to CC, but Lex just avoiding him completely. Still, the dots are burning. As long as Lex does have shields, he'll be okay. But we are hitting into that 8-minute mark. 22% dampener. The shields should be weaker. Flying still trying to get himself some sort of fear. I feel like he's been trying to land a fear for an hour and a half now. The G-Pie should get interrupted by the pet. Unless it isn't. I wonder what he interrupted earlier. Mortal qualifying Jacob. Lex taking just a little bit of damage, coming back in with big pyros onto flying, trying to take down the Warlock. Wall available for lock. Almost got himself a Chaos Bolt off finally. Been trying to land Fears and Chaos Bolts and just hasn't been able to so far. The dots around the corner until Lex does try to blink out of that Cataclysm. I don't think he's able to though. Fire Blast Chaos Bolt finally lands. Actual first Chaos Bolt of the game. And I think the images around the corner are almost enough to take down flying. Has a mastery dot on him. It looks like it's not enough, so Lex does have to blink around, finish off the job. I was super unfortunate, boys. Warlock tried to get a fear off for the whole game. With Proxy up next, should be able to get a couple pyros onto Lex. Looks like Lex actually does have massive reheals coming out. Still hauled down to that cauterize. Actually just running out into the other room with the food immediately. Has shields to hold him off for any of the dots. Proxy mounted up in order to catch up to him. That's going to be some more mage versus mage battles. It looks like Lex is playing Klepto to be able to steal all the buffs, all the shields from the enemy. So he's able to have all his shields burn through, took Proxy shields. And it's pretty tanky right after. Proxy still trying to get some fireballs in there from afar. Scorch is coming out for the both of them. But nobody's really going in for big damage. Lex trying to land a poly around the corner if possible. But being really careful about it. I do like how much tankier mages are, by the way. It is kind of nutty. Because remember they were mostly all about mobility and CC chains. But now they can just kind of... Oh, I got shields. I can kind of just tank the image to the face. G-Pie coming out for Lex does remove the shields from Proxy to make sure that G-Pie does hit the health bar. As long as he starts doing damage to the health bar of Proxy, he'll be ahead. And that's going to be where the Klepto will come into play. And Lex just kind of waiting out. Trying to get themselves some cooldowns. Better attack the images instead of Proxy for now. Proxy hoping to push in Breath into a Meteor right now. Doesn't go for any kind of wombo combo. Looks like Proxy just rolls in. That's going to be all the time onto Lex as a defensive. Lex does actually have a lot of defenses left. Besides the shields and landing those proper Kleptos, that's the only thing that's really keeping him afloat right now. He does have every offensive cooldown available. The Meteor, he got himself the Rune of Power, big combustion ready to go. And Proxy, he has everything but a Meteor. Breath by Lex trying to land a poly. Going to be interrupted. Proxy could go for a breath of his own. Actually, Proxy is going to go for a big combustion, trying to make as much damage happen. Lex doesn't have a lot of defenses here. Does go for a big combustion himself, stealing all the shields from Proxy, trying to maximize the pyros here. Is he able to? Proxy is kind of lowish on health. Maybe could spell steal the altar time and take down Proxy. Proxy does have a lot of defenses getting used all at once. Cauterize, Ice Block. It looks like all the time. Did all the time get him back to lower health where he was? That was a big misplay. Lex almost had him down. Breath into Lex. Lex has Ice Block back up. Proxy, not a lot of health. Lex just needs a couple Fire Blasts. He'll be good to go. Pyre gonna chuck down a Proxy as he gets a shield. Did Proxy just use all the time to get himself on a lower health number? I think Proxy's done for unless he has a seed. It looks like the pod is there. Lex will have a Meteor for it, with a couple fireballs and a Phoenix Flame and a Pyro, and that's all he needed. Grata-Lisa up next as a shot up his Lex. So far has been fighting tooth and nail against these boys for quite a bit. I think he could do much against Grata-Lisa, especially if you could just put the dots on him and steal all those shields. It's just not a lot you can really do. I mean, I think you're just done and done. As Lex, the only thing that save him is the shield if he gets them up right now. Food actually still rolling pretty well. 44% dampening into this 12-minute duel. Does get the shields, and Grata-Lisa needs to start purging those things immediately. Trying to go for a void. What is that? Void something. It was that Legion artifact weapon ability. That's now a talent. Mind games into Lex. Oh, he better not heal himself. He better not do damage either. He just wants to AFK this out for a little bit. And Grata-Lisa is going to catch up on quite a lot of health. Lex maybe could go for... Actually, shouldn't heal. Should need food, because that'll actually do damage to you. The food will taste so bad. Food will be actually so bad for you. But especially how fast it heals you now. But Lex does get himself an invis off. Maybe it might be able to go for a full feast as Grata-Lisa picking up the eye. And only now do they see Lex catching up on heals little by little. At 49% dampening, the healing is just not much. Stun onto Lex. He does have the blink to get out of those stuns. Fear on both Atho as well as Lex as Grata-Lisa going for that MC with Lexigor. And I don't really know what that MC was supposed to do. It does have the PI available. Silence on the legs with Void Torrent. That's the word, is Void Torrent. And that's going to be Lex down for the count with either Athaman or Jellyfy up next. And it looks like it is actually going to be Atho. Walking out, looking all green, mean, lean with an umbrella. versus the Shadow Priest. The Shadow Priest actually still has quite a lot of cooldowns, but at 53% dampening, I don't really know if we can do much here. I really don't know if you can do much here, boys. Potentially. Maybe. I feel like the Paladin wins these by default, but maybe girl, at least you can squeeze one out. Squeeze one more. Big Void Torrent available onto Ather immediately. Just trying to chunk out as much health damage into him as possible in the opener. And with dampen at 55%, not much you can really do. Both of them are Venthyr. So Grad Elisa looking to maybe get himself a port in there. Maybe looking to port out. Yep, does port in. That's going to be the horror effect with a mind control into Atha right now. Wait, do those things not DR? I feel like those DR. Repentance for Atha as he's able to get himself a little bit of catch up. I think Repentance against casters as a palette is not a bad option. Into a Hydra Gralis. It goes in for Disperse immediately at them and try to see if you might be able to, might as well maximize the damage he has off those wings. Is that a Seraphim on top of it? It's hard to tell. Is it Seraphim? I think it is Seraphim. I think he went in for a big one-shot setup. It's going to be Ashen Hollow trying to get a set up onto Granalisa while Seraphim is running. Big damage onto the Shadow Priest. Atha does not sit there for long at all, trying to get those hammers in there. Looks like all his cooldowns are down into Greater Fate, but Granalisa should be able to sprint away from Atha for a second here. Does he have any more CC chains? Bursting through the Shield of Vengeance very, very quickly. Granalisa got himself a lot of self-heals rolling. Bubble available for Atha. Does he get the interrupt on the massive spell? He does. Granalisa with not a lot of defenses real left. I think it's going to be over. Repentance coming now. Does get a CC at him and trying to maintain himself. Tricky coming out for Granalisa. I don't know what else he can really do. Unless he has CC chains there or something. Not much you can do at the end. That was a lot of damage out of legs, by the way. One duel really only? No. That's two. He had the mage. I think he also had the warlock, didn't he? Didn't the warlock also? Yeah, the warlock also had the pod. So actually that should have been three, right? I think it should have been three. I could be wrong there, boys. I could be wrong. That's Shadow Priest for you? That's your priest for you? Remember how bad they were in BFA? Yo, they're much better in my opinion, dude. Much better than they were. They're kind of spooky sometimes, man. They're kind of scary sometimes. 41, 42, 43, 43 PvP. Sender got a 5-man group. Let's go, dude. Lord. Yo, we got to get Sender in here. And Lord. These guys are brand spanking new. Alex and Kraker are also ready. Yep, we'll get you guys in here against some variety, hopefully. Sander and Lord. Hopefully I didn't get Sander's name wrong. I guess we'll find out in a second, yeah? Was two? Was it really? Was it only two? Okay, so you had the Warlock. Was it just the Warlock and the Mage? Man. That's crazy. Only two. That was a long set of duels then, if it's only two. That was a really long duel then. Are you sure? I think you might be right though. Because mages do prolong the games now with their shields. They're crazy shields. Holy. Spooky is when you're collecting weeds on some fire mage cast Spyro in your hours. That's spooky? Yo, all that damage is spooky. What is he with now, Gucci? Okay. Let's go game. Let's see if Sander with an A. Okay. Sander. We're Gucci now. We should be good. Let's get Lord and Sander back in here, and hopefully it'll work this time. Lord's team is ready. Sounds good, my dude. Sounds good. He said, alright. 3 Mage Lock Mage. That's a pretty tough one, too. I'm pretty sure it was 3. So who was the first mage? I guess it was Proxy, and then there was, I think, another guy. Oh, it was a name starting on T, letter T. But it's an undead mage with like that mask, right? With a new raid, or from the new tier. Cast an Athria one. Pretty good either way. We got ourselves Outlaw Rogues. Yo, dude. I like it. Alrighty, boys. Let's get it up and running here, yeah? Twitch. We got ourselves team 1, team 2 actually, with one Bang Axe, which is Lord, otherwise known as the boy. We got ourselves Flex in here with Kaidu as a gentleman mustache and everything. I like the Mog. It looks so good. Kaido as a sub-rogue with Zarya as another sub-rogue, as well as Kreiser coming back in with a good old Mog, dude. The good old Mog playing more of that destruction on the other team. We got ourselves Cool Litra as an Outlaw Rogue. We got ourselves down here Catalysator, we got ourselves Gladiator, we got ourselves. First up is going to be Archeorc. And I'm missing one. We got Corsair, we got Mech Bistek. Oh, this guy. I remember you. You had yourself like a Christmassy attire. Your festive attire. Looks like Kaido is out here, dude. In the sewers hanging out with an umbrella. The gentleman never drops an umbrella. He just doesn't want any of the sewer water on him. You know what I mean? What immediate trinket for Archie with a Nova onto the Rogue with a Cloak of Shadows immediately. Archie with a trinket though. Are you a fire mage? He's a fire mage. He's not even arcane. Walking next to Kaido does land the sap, but Archie just kind of blows the trinket really early on. That is a Cloak of Shadows out of the Rogue though. Trying to go for shifting power. If Kaido kind of swings around it, he will get tagged out into AoE with a shifting power. But Archie, very bold move there in the opener. Very bold move. So Kaido is number 3, and Archie I think is number 5. Okay, he is. Big Kabashi coming out for Archie. Kaido doesn't have a Cloak of Shadows. Wait, what the? What? No! Oh my god! He just needed the cloak out of the Rogue. It didn't matter if he had a trinket or nothing. And Kaido, for some reason, didn't use blind or anything. Archeor just kind of just blasted all the fireballs into him. Oh my god, cooked that Rogue alive. Meteor coming out for Archie. As one Bang X coming out next on the other team. Which is going to be Lord, which is also known as the boy EU Obliv. But I guess we're changing some names here. Gonna be a Brad Archie expecting that time warp from one Bang. Going in for massive damage, big combust, Meteor coming down, and Archie still gonna get clipped by it either way. And Archie just gotta try to bail away from it as best as possible. Stealing the combustion by the looks of it for a few seconds just to get himself a couple of casts. Wong Bang is playing the Kyrian playstyle, so he has a big setup. With the Kyrian, Archie is playing the Night Phase, so he does have cooldown reduction, plus a little bit of damage and a nature cast, which if he gets interrupted on that, I mean, he can basically cast all the other spells. So that's going to be something for the other mages to kind of consider every time he goes in for it. Plus, Archie does have extra mobility with a Soul Shape. One Bang does have a little bit extra self-healing. There's going to be a Ring of Frost trying to get set up by Archie, but One Bang not letting that happen. Images available for Archie. And One Bang just having to get slowed down, but still trying to kind of truck at Archeoric, missing the Meteor slightly. But still able to stay on Archie for the most part. Missing that breath, but still getting those Fire Blast and Pyro Blast back to back. They should be in a good spot for now. Both of the mages are at a bit of a standstill. Who's going to make the first move? Who's going to get the first breath? As it looks like Archie was the one chasing after One Bang for a second there. They just played the game of cat and mouse here. He's gonna trinket, missing that breath on. Actually, no, not missing that breath. Does get the big Meteor onto One Bang. Trying to go for Radiant Spark damage. Archie got himself big combustion already. Turning it around into One Bang. Does he have the blink to set up? It's gonna be One Bang going in for a bit of a Kyrian heal with his shield up. Shifting power available for Archie as he's trying to get himself cooldowns back immediately. Whatever CDs he can get, the better. Does it all the time. Try to see if he can catch up. One Bang does breath him, but in more defensive breath with a Ring of Frost right after. Archie not walking into it. First aid set up with One Bang. Sets up a Rune of Power. Technical Rune of Power does have a pretty big range to it. Breath and a Ring of Frost on a One Bang does get the interrupt on the fire onto Archie. But he's going to have to play this a little bit more defensively. Does get frozen. Archie can maybe line up something. Maybe anything? Meteor, at least he lands that up. Getting a bunch of pyro is going to be a refresh on the shields for One Bang. With the breath right after, it looks like Archie's just out of all the CC chains for now. It's going to be a chance for One Bang to maybe turn this around on the Fire Mage Orc. Unless Archie could just save it and wait it out. Trying to see if he can use mobility to run away from the burst. Does get a Nova into One Bang. Kind of low in health. Does still have the shields, but he's getting low in health though. His health is actually getting cracked into pretty hard. And One Bang is going to interrupt him on Nature. Oh, that's the cast he didn't want to interrupt him on. Maybe he was thinking, you know what? At least I don't want him to get cooldowns back faster. He's going to get shields back faster and everything. Does hit him with a breath. Ring of Frost into One Bang. Doesn't get hit. Trying to go for Radiant Spark. He can either wait until the ring is over. Go for a blink, which is exactly what he decided to do. Trying to see if he can Nova R. He cannot quite catch the Orc. And we're almost hitting that 5-minute mark, boys. Could be anyone's game. Arky kind of behind on health, kind of lowish too. Going to be a massive setup with a Kyrian for one bang, taking all the shields away from Arky. Arky does get the cauterized proc, and Ice Block comes out, and that's going to be his big defensives used really early. One bang trying to go for a bit of a reheal. Looks like he isn't able to, and maybe Arky might turn around somehow, trying to go for a big old meteor setup. Combustion of his own is available. Does trick it out of the Nova, out of the breath, trying to make some damage happen into one bang. And it looks like he's able to get those pyros flying. Phoenix is falling. And one bang, does he have to go for Icebox himself? Does he get the cauterize too? Shifting power coming out for R. He does get cooldowns back pretty quickly here. I think it's like 10 seconds back cooldowns, but on certain few abilities, 10 seconds faster is huge. One bag super low, could be a cauterize if Ari displays his cards right. Big shields available. One bag does remove the shields, and one bag steals them back right after. Does have the cauterize proccing. The cauterize absorbed mostly into those shields. Still has ice block for later if he needs to. Arhi setting up a rune of power with Meteor around the corner. One bag does not get hit by it. Heads up with a breath. Ring of Frost, does that land? Looks like it does land. It does go for Fire Blast and Pyros, maybe a little early. Can be anyone's game at this point, but I think one bang with an ice block does have the advantage here. He does have the ability to stay away from the bursts out of one bang. That's going to be shields for shields right now. 6 minutes of the duel, 8% dampener. Boys, these games are going so quick with these two. It just needs one good setup. One good setup against the other mage, and it's over. First aid available for one. As Arhi goes in for a breath. Not really any kind of CC to line it up after. One bag got aggressive here. Does get the breath of his own. Continues to get those pyros in. Back to back with Fire Blast. Just punishing Arhi Orc for not having a shield. Sealing all those shields. Does get himself the shift in power. That's going to be the seed. Does one bag have enough damage? I think with that spark he should be fine. Is going to get the pyro in there. Man, that damage was huge. That pyro, that fourth ability at the end. The big pyro blasted the shield. Probably was a crit. And Macbeth does not get the opener on one bang at all. Macbeth is dead. Gonna trinket out of the poly, not to get hit by the G-Pie. And one bang is just gonna have to wait it out until maybe Ring of Frost. Smoke Bomb comes out, still can land a ring if he wants to. Actually, Meteor's in instead. Macbeth does Shadow Step, actually Shadow Strike, to get out of the Meteor range, but also catching up to one bang. Does have all the time available. As long as he's not in a stun, he'll be in a good spot. Blink it away. Still has all the time for any of the health recovery. Does get himself a little bit of health recovery and did a lot of damage back to the Rogue, putting him on the back foot. Rogue does have Cold Blood. Ring of Frost almost setting up on him. And Macbeth should be able to get himself a reset with the shield that a lot of rogues are running down. It's like a reset shield for every time you stealth up, you get yourself a massive shield. It's actually quite big if you can get it, especially on Mythic. I feel like one of the first few bosses on Mythic ends up giving you that shield too. But if you have any kind of dots and you go for a full clean reset, it seeps you in stealth. Big damage coming out from Macbeth. One bang going in for a big setup with a Kirin. Trying to make that thing that Meteor final hit, but the Cloak of Shadows will keep the Rogue nice and healthy. One bang does have his shields back up. Shadow Steps are coming for the Rogue, but eventually the Rogue is going to be burned out of the mobility. Vanish coming out. As the Rogue catches him with a clean reset, the shield is going to hold on to him. As long as there's a shield, the dots will not get him out of stealth. He'll always have himself a proper opener. Shadow Stepper with a cheap shot, super short, but looks he's actually out of cooldowns, and one bang might be able to turn this around. Does have ult time ahead of time in case his health gets real low. Does ult time, gaining a lot of health back. Best goes in for a blind. One bang could ice block it if he wants to. I don't think he'll need to, but Macbeth is going to be able to get himself a reset. Does he? Oh, if only he went for the Arcane Explosion there at the end, he would have been A-okay. That's going to be a sap by the Rogue onto one bang. That's going to be a little bit of first aid. Stopping the first aid. Big breath onto Macbeth. He does not have a trinket if one bang has a setup here with the G-Pie. No Cloak of Shadows either. No Vanish or nothing. Radiant Spark off that. I think it's done and lights out for the Rogue. Not much you can really do in this situation. Does go for the Kyrian heal. Maybe a feint for this. Trinkets out of the Nova, but the dots still burn him out. And one bang taking him out with Catalysator. Up next, Catalysator, right? I think it is Catalysator. I think I had it right the first time. But Cat is going to be up next, trying to get the big Star Surges in there. G-Pie cooking up for him. Probably going to go for an interrupt. Oh, there goes the roar. Didn't have to go for proper interrupt. Just the roar will do enough. Bark's still available for Kata. Is trying to see if he can survive the damage from one bang for now. The mage is kind of low on health, and we are at 9% dampener, so the healing as well as the shield should get weaker and weaker. Ring of Frost setting up on Kata, trinkets out of it immediately. Doesn't want to let one bang get a setup. There goes the interrupt on the fire, one bang. Needs himself shields back up. Decides to go as he sees cooldowns out of Kata for a bit of a reset. I think Kata is playing a legendary, where every time he spends a certain amount of Star Search power, or I guess Star Search power is the only... Astral power, that's what it is. Oh, let's call it Star Search power. But every time he spends Astral power, like 900 Astral power, he gets for 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, something like that. He gets Incarnation or Celestial Alignment. So with that legendary, it's actually quite huge for him if he goes for setup. No wonder one bang went for an Ice Bug there. Should be able to maybe get a setup onto Kata. Does he maybe get him into a Ring of Frost? Looks like he doesn't. Kata does get a little bit of recovery while in barrel form. Ring of Frost does come out from one side. One bang kind of wants to walk into Kata. Going for a Cyclone. Almost landing a Cyclone to one bang. I don't know if Cyclone denies you the ulti time or not, but that would have been interesting. I think it denies any kind of healing you would have gotten from it. Maybe. Potentially. But it could be wrong. Kata dodging out from the breath. Going to cat form, almost got himself a reset. Need himself a nice setup. That's going to be a one bait. Tried to set up a bit of the Kyrian burst wombo combo. Just has to back out of there immediately. Kata setting out some Star Surges right afterwards though, boys. Back to back to back. Is it going to be a Nova on the Druid? Radiant Spark right after. Bashing him before the Radiant Spark can go off. And one bag is still trying to make those Fire Blast, Pyro Blast work, just taking it easy, taking it slow. He does need to get himself a shield up and running as early as possible because the dots from the movie are actually doing a number now at 39% dampening. These dots are actually hurting. Knocking the mage out in the open. Star Surge almost blasting through all the shields. Breath does not get the Ring of Frost he needed. Still on the back foot, does get interrupted onto Kata. No self-healing from Regrows, does pop in the bear from the Frenzied region, keeping him alive for quite a bit here. Radiant Spark right after into a silence. As Kata goes for the Kyrian setup, trying to make the damage happen. One just doesn't have the best setup right now. All the time is up. You see it at the last second. Does get the shields at the last moment. Breath. And that's going to be trinket out of Kata. Yo, if one can somehow wait for a breath and then go for Ring of Frost and for a full setup with the Kata, he might actually be able to do it. Try to go for Radiant Spark. Does he have Ice Block? He does not have Ice Block. Trying to make this damage happen in a single cauterize. Trying to do what he can. Bash. It looks like Kata taking him out with a rogue attacking him immediately. Trinkets out and just taking down Kata. Zarya, I guess he was in the right position. He was in the right side of the arena. Man, that mage pumped, dude. That mage pumped. That's the first time anybody on Team 2 is getting to play besides the mage. Looks like Zarya has some kind of a dots on him, which Galitra isn't going to take advantage of. Playing out that Outlaw in the duels, which you do appreciate. Looks like Zarya's dots did wear off, so it's going to be a rogue stealthy duel until somebody picks up the eyes. It looks like Zarya's kind of gunning for the eyes first, because he can't get a vanish of the eyes, and if he can get an open on Kotira, actually doesn't even go for a vanish. Just wants to see if he can find the rogue. He's probably thinking, no, it's an outlaw. I probably will be okay. They probably don't do that much damage. It looks like Kulitra, or you call him Kultira. Kulitra does get himself a line of sight there. Zarya walking for the other set of eyes. They walk by each other, but no saps. No saps just yet. And Zarya might just have to go for another set of eyes. He knows the rogue is somewhere nearby. At least he has a suspicion of the rogue is nearby. Kulitra just setting up next to the eyeball in case Zarya picks it up. Maybe Zarya could go for a vanish here. Both of them are setting up. He's waiting for one another. Wait, Zarya decided, you know what? Maybe he's not by the eyes. Maybe I should check again. Maybe he's not literally camping the eyeball. Maybe he's not there. Just gotta wait, camp in the eyeball like there's nothing else to do. Walking by each other, both of them are camping. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. Just when rogues don't know who's where and what and why. They just don't know who's where. One of them is gonna have to pick up the eyes. Looks like Zarya picks it up, and Kulita does get a sap off with a cheap shot opener. Be able to get himself some damage in. Actually went in for a vanish. He vanished for an ambush. Did he cheap shot, vanish, ambush? Cloak shot is being burned by both rogues. Looks like Zarya got himself a setup onto Kulita. Cheap shot, but not enough damage to follow. Does Kulita have anything left? Actually, just getting slammed down with dams. Cheap shot coming out and down they go. I don't even know why they end up going for a cheap shot vanish ambush. Like as if it's a dungeon or raid. Blind onto Gladian, who's not going down without a fight. He at least wants to play one game without a rogue catching a reset. Gonna trinket out of it just to make sure he actually gets a chance to play besides getting, you know, one shot by a rogue. And looks like Chrysler is going to be up next as a Destruction Warlock, dropping down Rain of Fire. Just looking out to see if I'm able to get Gladrian out. Fire Mage versus Destra. Except Gladrian without a trinket might actually be in a bad spot. With 59% damp, 60% dampen at this point, the shields are just not going to be nearly as strong. And Chrysler does go for a cross CC with the Succubus. I was expecting maybe for an interrupt from the Fellhound, but looks like he decided to go for Succubus CC instead into another polymorph onto Chrysler. And that's going to be Gladrian. Try to go for a big damage. Chrysler just blinks out of it. Going to be a reflect shield stolen by Gladrian for a second. But Chrysler does have a CC chain with a Mortal Coil. And Gladrian should have a ton of damage ready up until the combustion is down. Try to go for more shifted power. Blinking away from a Casbolt actually. As Chrysler's health is extremely low. Does have himself all the time available. And I think Chrysler might be going down to the damage of the Fire Mage. Trying to make the damage happen. That's going to be the pod. Does Gladrian have the damage from the pod? The Infernal actually still doing damage to Gladrian. Could have the Mage low. Does get the Cauterize. Still trying to make the damage happen. Meets out to Chrysler. Looks like Chrysler survives the onslaught. The pets did plenty of damage in order to get the pod out of Gladrian. It looks like both of them got a reset. Icebug for Gladrian for a reheal. Chrysler get himself the pod for a reheal. It looks like they're both still in the game. Chrysler definitely behind on health. Gladrian with a lot of instacast available at all times. Images running in their breath into Chrysler. I think it might be over here. Mortal Coil does keep Chrysler alive for a little longer. And it looks like it's going to be it. Just a couple more Pirates and Fire Blast was needed. And down he go with Flex up next is yet another Fire Mage of the Vente variety. Trying to go for Combust and around the corner. It looks like, did he cancel his Combust? Is that what happened? Did he just cancel his Combust? Breath onto Flex. As Gladrian does land a poly, and is going to try to see if he can bail out of there. 60 minutes into this duel. Gladrian, I don't really know what else he can really do. Maybe he can go for a shift in power and go for a big Combust play onto Flex. That might be a position he might be able to use here. Potentially, maybe. But he's definitely behind. At least on health, as well as on defenses. The shields, look at those shields. At 72% dampening, those shields don't really do much for you. Because they do get reduced with dampening. The shields are massive up until higher dampening. Now, Flex just sees himself a good setup on Gladrian. He'll be in a good spot. Poly by Gladrian. And has got himself Combustion, hoping to maybe make a big play here. Wait, actually might be able to do something. Wait, Flex. What? Flex. No Icebox, no nothing. Just through Cauterize. Oh my god, Gladrian had to make a big play, and the play he made. What? 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 I don't understand that. Oh my god. That was so much damage. Compared to the other mage duel we had, which felt like it was just a lot of running and shields and spell steals and polys and breaths. That was over in an instant. Oh my god. Alright, boys, we got more people in here. Let's do it. Let's get another group up and running, yeah? How much longer will we make games? Might be able to join. Yeah, man. Well, welcome to. We're going to be going until normal time. 7 p.m. East Coast. So, for about 40 more minutes or so? I'd say for about 40 more minutes or something. You know what I mean? EU, SL, 44. Here we go, boys. We got to get Pelor in here. It was Sander and Lord that played. We got to throw Pelor against... Alex or Kragar. Which one of you guys won that duel between you two? I think it was Alex's team, right? I think Alex's team won, right? Am I wrong on that? Let's get Crippers in here. We can get, maybe we should go... Has Alex and Atho played? Wait, Alex and Atho hasn't played, so we can do like this. Then we can have Atho, because he's ready, versus Alex. And we can have Proxy versus Lord Sander. Yeah, we got people, man. We got peeps. Let's get... I'm gonna guess... Fame Monster X. Not Crippers. Okay. I do hope there is no... I guess the Russian will be below the Lore Flame Monster X. Okay, that works out. Yeah. I'm going to... Fame Monster. Okay. Fame Monster X with Kragar up next. Atho and Alex after, and then we can do Sander, Proxy, Lord, or any one of those guys, and get them in a group. Zero, by the way, thanks for the shot. Hey man, well, welcome to you. Welcome to join the duels. Friday for EU, Saturday for NA, boys, every single week. It's a lot of mages today. It is a lot of mages. They're pretty good though. You know what I mean? It is a lot of mages, man. That was sweaty, dude. Some of those games are sweaty. They're trying to win, man. They're trying to play for the win. You know what I mean? It's a duel. You're not trying to lose it. You know what I mean? I understand sometimes you gotta play sweaty. And sometimes you get some really good footage, really good games out of it. A nice game is a nice game. Switch. We got us as team 1 with lots of new names. We got Fame Monster X as a Woodwalker Monk. We got us as Mary in here as well. That's a familiar face. A Van Crow. Ooh, I like that Mog. With the monocle too. As a Warlock, that looks wicked. We got ourselves Elegantin as well as Cutie Light as a Retribution Paladin versus team 2. We got ourselves Scrinch, I guess Scrinch, or I don't even know how to say your name properly, bro. We got ourselves Cracker on the other team with Treddy. We got ourselves Anta as well as Master Fruit with Fame Master X getting blasted out by Scrinch. It's like Grinch, but who sits in front of a screen all the time. Scrinch. Oh my god, there was a lot of damage. Immediate Trinket Karma by Fame. As Scrinch had to go for a reset of his own. Has the win and the image is beating him up. At least he's not there getting attacked by Fame Monster X. That's a win. I mean, look at the damage of this thing. It actually slaps. Like, if you just leave this pet on its own just attacking you, I mean, that'll do damn. Plus, the Wen has an interaction with the Monk. The more damage you do, the more damage the Wen does. Looks like Scrinch might have to go for a reset of his own. Going to be even more images available. Just waiting out. Evasion is available. Did burn a trinket somewhere. I don't even know where Scrinch burned a trinket. Has a mark for that's ready for Fame. Looks like he's kind of waiting out until he has a perfect go here. And Fame super low. Big damage coming out from Scrinch. What was that damage out of nowhere? He didn't even vanish for it. What the what? Scrinch just taking him out. He just had to wait. Shadow Strike shot. Didn't even stun him. He went to go for a stun. He just was like, wait, I gotta set up. Shadow Strike, eviscerate. Shadow Strike, eviscerate. Gone. What? And the Rogue is gonna probably have to sit himself for quite a bit. Recover a lot of health. Going for the Candlelight. Trying to recover health. Keep these duels rolling. Good man. What was that? Fame just got obliterated. That's going to be an opener onto Mary with massive damage. What is going on? Mary's literally already in half health. With just a few globals, trying to see if he can turn around the damage onto Scrinch, who has cheat. Death. He literally died just now, dude. Literally died just now. Oh my god. Does have the Kyrian potion for a bit of a setup himself. He's just doing so much damage, dude. And he doesn't really need himself like a lot of... I guess he's not going for like a sustainability. He's just going in for burst. Mary did pop a trinket that could be potentially a bubble or bop out of Mary. Does Scrinch really want to go out without a vanish? Finish out onto Mary. Does get a bop out of him. Does he have a way to catch away? Does he have a get away here? Getting hit with a slow cloak of shadows coming out. Should be able to stay afloat. Maybe shadow step around the corner. He's just waiting out for the bop into a blind for Barons on the Mary. If Scrinch has himself a go, he actually could maybe take him out pretty quickly. He was probably going to have to play around the bubble unless he goes now. Unless his burst is literally just 4 globals, then he could probably do it. Because Forbearance lasts for about 30 seconds. Blessed Protection lasts for quite a while too. So Mary has himself at least one more way out. And Scrinch, I think, is mostly out of options. He does have a trinket though. So maybe he's not completely out of options. Setting him up. Wants to go for a go. Kidney shot coming out. Cold blood available. That's going to be the curing ability used. Trinkets out of the stun. His bubble coming out from Mary, and Scrinch does have ability to just set up and reset. I keep swapping the wrong person. I'm so sorry. After Fame left, probably a little embarrassed. Just bailed immediately. Just a little embarrassed, Coopers. It's okay, man. It happens, dude. Not the first time all of us got one-shotted by sub-rogues. Am I right, boys? But Mary is now out in the open without anything. He doesn't have a trinket yet. If Scrinch goes for an opener with a kidney shot, now Mary wouldn't be able to stop the opener. But looks like Scrinch maybe waited out for too long. And I think Mary should have an opener. Should have a counter response here. Trinket, immediately Shield of Vengeance. A Scrinch burn through that Shield of Vengeance so quickly. Cheap shot, might have the damage. Mary goes in for Warlock Hellstone. That's keeping him alive for a little bit longer. Stone up to Scrinch, kind of low on health. Wings are available. Does Mary have enough damage? Scrinch, oh, down he goes. Getting cleaved down by the Paladin. Wiping out the Scourge from the face of the world. And they're going to be Cracker up next. Rolling into Mary while the Wings are still rolling for Paladin. Lots of momentum still saved up. Cracker does himself in Zerka's Rage roll. No, Zerka's Rage. Recklessness rolling. Zerka Rage is another thing. I think Zerka's Rage was something else before in like all the expansions, wasn't it? Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Mary, though, maintaining himself as best as possible. This is at least not a sub-rogue with unpredictable big burst damage. This is Cracker. This is a Fury Warrior. You do see the damage from kind of a mile away. It is a little bit more sustained heavy as Cracker goes for a big old bash and spear, just trying to get himself a bit of a setup. But looks like he's not really able to break through the tough exterior of Mary. He's doing damage, but Mary's health is just not going anywhere at all. Hodge onto Cracker. Cracker, next week, my man, 8% buff. This is going to be huge for Fury Warriors. Goes in for massive, massive damage onto Cracker. And I think Mary's just waiting until Wings are back up and running. Cracker's, though, his health, while lower than that of Mary, he's not really dipping. He's not really dipping. He's not really going that much further. And he does get good recovery from Bloodthirst from time to time. Looks like Mary actually for a second did have lower end health. If only Fury Warriors had some kind of a mortar strike effect, man. I think it'd make it easier for them to compete in PvP. I wonder if there's any Fury Warriors that are playing PvP right now that are just monstrous damage. There might be. I do wonder what kind of a setup they would go for. I would think on Dem or the Kyrian. Remember they were really good back in BFA. It was nutty. But Cracker and Mary just tussle in the middle. Mary should have some damage rolling very, very soon. Cracker will not have a trinket for this next go. Mary goes in for the big wing setup. Hodges to Cracker has himself a full setup. Big damage available. Cracker goes in for enraged regen and just not enough. Was that a full Seraphim setup? It was. Big Seraphim setup out of Mary. Had a whole one-shot wombo combo ready for Cracker and through enraged regeneration. His big defensives, not much he could do. Mary goes in for a fear, or at least try to go for a fear on one of the pets. And looks like, what's the name? Aptiapositon? Anti. Throwing in the big zombies over at Mary. Summoning even more zombies while the arm is available. Zombies walking at Mary. Doing percentage damage. Hodge onto Anti. It looks like Mary's going to be just A-okay. Bubble back up. Has a trinket if ever necessary. Let's see if I can swap it to this guy. Actually, what is it? Antiparzitan. I don't know what that means. Antiparzitan. We'll call you Anti, though. It looks like actually Consecration kills the zombies. I guess as long as they walk into Consecration, they fade away. So Mary, actually, as long as he puts the Consecration onto him when the zombies are out, zombies walk into Consecration, they die before they reach him, and there's nothing you can really do. There's another zombie. He does take it out before anything. And Anti going in for a little bit of that line of sight, waiting it out until the Pally just doesn't have anything left. Anti having to play a very, very defensive play, and we got ourselves Deep. Caesar, how you doing, Deep Six? Hope you're having a good one, man. Can we get a hashtag Deep Six in chat with a wonderful, beautiful donation? Thanks so much, man. That's a generous donor, my guy. Appreciate ya for the 5 bones. Anti, though, still continues to run away from the pallet. Just can't really do much about it. IBF, AMS available, just overlapping every defenses. It looks like maybe, finally, with an A-bomb, he might be able to do something. He needs a lot more pets. There goes the Army of the Dead as Mary got himself a Shield of Vengeance ready. Still has a bop and bubble and everything, and Zombo is still approaching him from the corner. He does see the Zombo. He's actually staying away from the Zombo by the looks of it. More zombies spawning in right behind him. He's actually getting surrounded. But as long as he drops down to Consecration, he will be okay. Do the zombies still do 10% of his damage and health? They don't really look like they do that much anymore. But maybe the one zombie that did tag Mary just now. Maybe Mary had a Shield of Vengeance for that one. It just didn't really look like he had any kind of dam from it. But it looks like Anti just kind of playing the long game there, dude. He got his guitar in hand. Got his BFA Mog ready. But he's just having to play the long game. Just waiting it out for Mary. I don't even know what he was waiting for. Maybe he's waiting for another set of pets. Maybe he just feels super squishy against Mary. He better just hit him with a chain of ice, hit him with dots, let the pets attack him, and just hope that maybe in Dampen he might be able to win until Mary closes the gap. Big, is that Seraphim? Seraphim play not coming out, just the wings by itself, just almost blasting Anti into 2. AMS is available for the death. That does get himself a lot of recovery here. And it looks like he's waiting until he gets Abomination as well as the armor that back up. Going for the buff up on the pet. I guess the pet is doing some damage there. Mary should be able to take the pet out with the Seraphim pretty quickly. And Anti is just not in a good spot at all. He does have the armor that are available very, very soon. Does sacrifice his pet for a self-heal. I feel like it's just the inevitable. He's just trying to avoid the inevitable of a paladin. I don't know if he can really do much here, man. Hodge by Mary, trick us out of it, but like, what else are you going to be able to do, man? I guess we'll wait until he gets the pet summon back up. Where then maybe he'll summon his pet, maybe get a full abomination setup, AMS available, maybe IBF by then. Drop down a bomb, a bunch of zombos, and then kind of go from there. Maybe he's just trying to collapse all those pets onto Mary. Maybe that's his play. Get a billion pets, keep Mary out in the open, let those pets collapse, and maybe that'll be like 100-0 in a wombo combo. Maybe even get an interrupt onto the Pala. But Mary just needs to have himself line of sight. Maybe a Hodge. Wings and Seraphim. And he's got the big blaster damage. Not even Seraphim necessarily either. Just Wings by itself would be good enough too. 10 minutes into this duel, dude. This man is still on the run. I can't believe it. Still on the run. Slow, but Mary might be able to do something. Does go for a stop. Oh my god, this guy. He just doesn't want to die. He does not want to die. Yo, boys, can we see some enhanced next game? We'll probably get Athman Man in here next to make sure he gets the group in. And he may be finally going in for a big setup. He got the pets up and running. Maybe he can go for the Army of the Dead. Gripping Mary back out in the open. Summoning a bunch of zombies. Looks like he's going in. He's trying to make the all-in burst count. Mary, Dasa, Wings back up. Could go for full Seraphim. Dasa, Seraphim, Hodge into AM team. And maybe if he has the mobility to catch up, Bubble available, trying to make the damage happen. He actually has the reach with a final verdict. Does go for a bit of a self-heal. Looks like Auntie is going to wait this out. Mary went in for the full burst, and Auntie's somehow still alive, dude. He's still alive and he's still kicking. Still alive and you gotta give this guy credit for his survivability against the Pala. I mean, he's literally kiting the Paladin around, but that consecration literally almost killed you, my guy. Oh my god. What is going on? Yo, can we get a hashtag Deep 6, boys? Yo, hopefully we'll see some enhancement Shaman next game. Boys, bring out some enhancement boys in here. Hashtag Deep 6 for no fun with the man. Appreciate you so much, my dude. Anti, I mean, you barely got a health guy. Does have the AMS for the last few abilities. Trying to go for a bit of that transfusion. 40% dampening. I feel like if you only went for that transfusion way early in the game without the dampening, it would have been maybe okay. But my guy, you ain't coming out of this alive. Trinket still has cooldowns, man. He still has CDs. Did you see him sliding there for a second too? He was just so determined to take down the Paladin, or at least not die to him. He was literally sliding out of the death, dude. Master Fruit up next as a balanced druid versus Mary, who just used a lot of cooldowns against the Death Knight. So maybe Master Fruit might be able to use this to his advantage. He still has cooldowns. Mary doesn't, so might be able to do something. Although we are 44% dampen on the boys. So this is going to get kind of harder and harder to deal with. Master Fruit doesn't really have a lot of self-heals, and no bubble available for Mary. Big combo coming out. Mary might be done and done here. Big star surges while silenced. And Master Fruit taking him out. With Eleganten going to be up next as a Fire Mage versus Master Fruit. Big Convoke on the Pala had himself fully set up. No trinket available for Mary, and down he went. Mary played really, really well though. He did do some big clapping damage on the Rogue as well as Cracker. He did really, really well. I am really, really surprised though that the Death Knight was able to cut him as well as he was. I actually am very, very surprised. I got to take in a couple of those dots from Master Fruit as he goes in for a bit of those dots, getting whatever instant cast he can from far and just kind of dipping behind the pillar. Just waiting out as the mage rolls in with a Ring of Frost. Off the breath, she'll be able to go for a big G-Pie. Probably going to be a trinket from Master Fruit, maybe. Does he go for it? Barkskin comes out with a trinket and try to see if he can sprint the hell out of there. Doesn't want to have to deal with a Fire Mage if he doesn't need to. That was Barkskin used though. I don't really know if he needed to use Barkskin. Because he used Barkskin, then he chose to trinket, then he chose to do something about it. So I don't really know if he had to do that. But I got him missing out breath. Master Fruit still able to get the dots up and running. Does he have any kind of a setup? Maybe instant cast wombo combo. Does go for a War Stomp. That's going to be his Eclipse available. So that's a lot more damage. Going to be all the time available for Eleganten. So Master Fruit is going to bail out. All the damage he does into the mage is not going to do anything. He's just going to get himself a port anyway. Eleganten walking into this duel with 54% dampener, so his shield is not going to be nearly as big. Just trying to go for a little bit of food as Master Fruit. I guess he's going to let him reset. He kind of wants to play with this mage out in the open. He wants to kind of have the range on the mage. He doesn't want to be up in melee where he can hit him with a breath. He doesn't want to be playing the pillar game with him at all or anything like that. Just wants to hit him from super far away. And I guess he's gonna just do just that. Mounting up, Should be able to get the breath. Maybe Ring of Frost. Try to go for setup. No more trinket developed for Master Foot. I think he could leap out of this Ring of Frost. And that's going to be a cyclone getting interrupted. Does he go for maybe a big setup? It's going to be a spark. Masterford can't really do much about it. Does go for a roar. Disrupting only got this burst for a little bit. Does have himself the frenzy region, but the pyros are still flying. The damage is still quite high. Masterford does have a little bit of heals. Bash onto Leganton with a trinket immediately into a solar beam to silence, and Masterfoot super low at 59% dampener. Might be in an unwinnable position. Maybe if you can go for a big old convoke and kind of have a CC onto Leganton, he might be okay. Maybe like a root and then the silence beam. That could work. Masterfoot does get... Oh, no. The pod does get procced. If Elegante could just do enough damage to the pod, he will be okay. And apparently he does have enough damage. Normally, fire mages just don't have enough damage to burn through these things. For one reason or another. Traity is going to be up next as a Feral. Does go for a big old stun onto Leganton, who does blink out of it. Trying to go for a Ring of Frost. Looks like not going to happen. Traity trying to get himself a big old bite. The ult time for Leganton is there though. Does have a lot of health saved up. I thought it was a perfect time for their ulti time. Traity taking lots of damage though. Does have to wall this, and that's going to be bear form with a quick frenzied region, but decides to bail out of it immediately. With the North Souls to keep the mage in place for a little bit. Ring of Frost, I think, going to connect. And Eleganton, I think, just needs a G-pipe. Couple Fire Blasts and a Pyro, and he's set. Radiant Spark trying to come out. Fire Blast Pyro maybe. Phoenix Flames. And it looks like Shady might be able to squeeze out a little more heals out of this. Going to be images available for Eleganton. I don't really know if they're... Yeah, they're not even attacking the Feral Druid. I don't know why. They could have. It looks like Trady is going to be able to get himself a clean reset at the very least. Eleganton does have a blink for the stun. Trady does have the mobility. Breath into a meteor coming down. That's going to do quite a bit. Without a bark skin, I think Trady is done. Unless Eleganton is done, the bleeds are on him. They are rolling. That is a lot of damage. Eleganton does have cauterized with an ice block. Trady might actually, if anything, be able to turn around against the mage. He might be able to somehow, some way, make a comeback here. I guess we'll have to wait and see, right? Ice block and Eleganton got as much healing off that as he could. The shields are back up. And hopefully Trady knows that next time he has an opener onto Eleganton, he goes in for a rake. He's always going to have a blink. Always going to have a blink. I think you still got to get a rake in there. Just so you can put the powerful bleed on there. What else are you going to do? I guess you can't really open with a shred. Or if you open with a shred, gets your dots, he blinks, you leap, bash. Maybe that couldn't work. But there goes another reopen. Eleganton with a breath into Ring of Frost does land G-Pie. If Trady has any kind of solid feels, this will be a perfect opportunity to do it. Eleganton does have combustion though. I think it's going to be unstoppable at this point. As long as he goes for Pyros, went for Nova instead. Trady does create some line of sight though with the mobility. It looks like maybe the Feral was able to avoid the combustion burst. If he can go for another reset, he does have a trinket. He can't actually have a line up on the mage at this point. Big old bite with a big old stomp and a breath. And Trady actually does make it out in this duel and beats the mage. 75% dampener at a 17-minute game, boys. And Van Cow is up next as a Demonology Warlock. Will have the pet to stop the Feral's opener every single time. Trying to go for a bit of a Blaze Storm in case Trady is anywhere nearby. He's playing the Maldraxxus Covenant too. So he's in a decent spot right now. He's doing decent. He's doing alright. He's doing okay for a bit. Trady though getting that opener. Not gonna... Oh, there goes the pet stun. Not going for a trinket out of pet stun. Fear to Trady go for a trinket. Looks like he is. And Vancro does have a very slow setup with his burst. He's going to get a couple of Demon Bowls. The Doggers come out. The second stun comes in. And that's going to be full-blown. Tyrant does get a Skull Bash on a Tyrant. But Trady is not in a good spot either way. The pets are still chasing after him. Big Drain Life coming out. I mean, the Drain Life itself isn't that big, but any kind of damage at 80% dampening is huge. And Van Crow still had a shield this whole time. Trady tricking it out, trying to maximize the bleeds as well as the dots. Getting interrupted on his Convoke by the looks of it. Super unfortunate. That's going to be Tyrant up and running either way. And to go down, and Trady does have the pod. As long as he can get the pets to attack the pod, he'll be A-okay. Yep, no way you stop at that burst. That was actually so good at the end, though. What is... Nobody got a kills. You're telling me that the... How does this guy top damage? Did Pally leave? Mary left, so he doesn't even show up on the numbers. How did you kite the Paladin as long as you did? I actually don't understand. I actually don't understand, boys. Alrighty, man. Let's get another group up and running, yeah? I think it's time for another group. Who else do we have? Who else has not got to play? Atha? Yeah, Atho was supposed to play next, and I think Alex, right? That'll go. That'll work out. That'll work out, boys. Oblivion is the roughest major I've ever seen. Is one of them likes the arena? Is this the one that likes the arena? Roughest. Is that a compliment? Roughest. I guess he's rough and tough, right? He's like a gangster. He's rough and tough, mean and lean. Killing machine. Let's get Atham in here so we can get ourselves any handsome shaman, unless Copyfin is not in the group. Which we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. You know what I mean? How's it going, bro? What's up, Cal? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one, my dude. But it's delayed and it's important to watch. Yo, they're trying to do what they can, dude. You know what I mean? What can you do? You're trying to fight to the tooth and nail. What else can you really do, man? Oh my god, dude. Kren. Yo, there's a game me and Kren are trying to play. I haven't really had the time with Shadowlands in the videos to play it, but she's been playing even a little bit without me. Bro. Anyone play Rift? I think me and Kren are gonna mess around on Rift a little bit when I have some free time. I don't know why Rift. I don't know why Rift. Don't even get at me. I don't know why Rift. But somehow both of us just had the game in our minds. Out of nowhere. Switch. We got ourselves Team 1 with Belly going out as an arms warrior. With in the back, we got ourselves Jellyfy. Copyfin as a handsome shaman. Athaman as a red pala. And Lex as a very translucent see-through fire mage. Versus Team 2 with Trados just by the candles. Hanging out, Christina in the back. We got ourselves Dirks going for our stuff versus Athaman. Going in for the biggie damage with a bubble coming out for Atho. And Dirks looking to sprint out of there. Maybe going for a reset of his own. Flashlight available for Athaman as he's trying to get himself a bit of a setup. Ashen Hollow should get Dirks out of stealth in the open. And that's going to be not a great place for Dirks to be. Hodge into Ashen Hollow. Athaman going for massive damage, and Dirks actually have to trinket out of this blind onto Dirks as Atha gets him out. Should be able to go for holy damage. No crit for Dirks. At least no 100% crit. Trying to see if he can counter damage back into Atha. Shadow strikes are flying, and Atha got himself plenty of self heals rolling. Evasion available for Dirks. Down him with a slow smoke bombing himself in there. Blind available for Dirks is the only reset he has. Athaman has a Bob, however, so blind doesn't even do anything. Does he go for a kidney shot? Athaman could maybe bop it, does bop it, as Dirks has nowhere to go. Only he has the self heals. If he could just survive with the self heals until the next kidney shot, I think that's all he could really do. As long as Athaman doesn't let him go anywhere. Shadow Step does break away, ponies up. Dirks looking for the reset desperately, doesn't get it, and Athaman just ponies it up out of there. With Unstoppable up next, and that team we also got ourselves Kedem in the back as well. And you guys met Dirks. You guys met Dirks. Gonna be Unstoppable coming in. Big shield still holding for the Maldraxxus Covenant. And Athaman looking like he's actually just gonna go for a bit of a line of sight, hand of freedom available, and everything. It's gonna have to wait it out. Unstoppable with Lasso might have to go for a Hex into Athaman first. Break out that adaptation, then go for Lasso. Big old knockback for Atho. And he should be able to get himself a Stormkeeper up and running. Athaman does have a Shield of Vengeance, has himself Seraphim, so that should be quite a lot of survivability for him, as well as damage. Big zaps or Unstoppable. What was that? What was those zaps? Bro, that guy just popped off out of nowhere. Shamans. And next up is going to be Copyfin, also another shaman, but of an enhancement variety. Getting Ghosts up onto Unstoppable, getting hit with a lasso. Not feeling that good from that lasso, but got himself plenty of self heals. What was that? That was Stormkeeper. That's really strong. Oh, Jesus. Didn't even give him a chance to press Shield of Vengeance, I think, or nothing. So it's going to be a big old knockback for Unstoppable as it looks at Copyfin. It's starting to get some damage in. Oh, Grounding Totem. How many lava bursts was that? Was that 4? It looked like 6. That was a lot of lava bursts. That was a lot of lava bursts into that grounding. How many just ground is Copyfin just a woody death and carnage just now? All those meatballs, dude. You won't be able to hold them in your tummy, my man. Stormkeeper coming out. Copyfin can't really do much about it. Does have a pre-wall ready. Unstoppable getting those big old zaps ready, but looks like he wants to hold on to one after Copyfin's wall is gone. Has still one more zap available, trying to get some healing surges up and running. Copy did not have an interrupt for it. Big Earthshock probably has one more zap available. Sundering does get some CC on Safable with a Hex on the copy. Trinkets out of it with an interrupt on Safable. Trying to see if he can pressure the Elemental Shaman as the Ellie does get the Earth Elemental wall ready. And Safable probably has himself a nice setup with the copy. Does he have the big lava burst? He does not, but the Lasso does keep the Copyfin away. Copyfin, though, as an handsome shaman, got a lot of heals. This man got a lot of healing. Maelstrom healing is nuts right now for enhancement. That does give you survivability. You kind of squishy. I'll agree. I agree with a lot of you. Enhancement shamans are kind of squishy. But the heal is quite nutty. Taking down the capacitor totem before it lands a stun. Unstoppable forced to go for a wall here. As Copyfin still continuing to put pressure. No interrupt available for Copyfin for a bit. Stormkeeper coming back out. If Copyfin can line up maybe a proper grounding, does get a grounding rolling. And that's going to be Unstoppable. Taking that grounding out. Does go for a big bolts onto Copy. Goes in for Panoracial. Next instant casts are going to be huge. Does go for a big Ascendance Lasso available. I think Unstoppable still has the Lava Burst Wombo combo. Does he? It looks like he doesn't. Getting away from those wind strikes as Copyfin goes for a bit of a port. Wind strikes flying out of those hands of an Ascended Shaman. Oh my god, the way he ran. But slowed, you ran big. Elemental Blast onto Unstoppable. Looks like every time Copy gets some kind of a setup, Unstoppable just hits him with a slow and runs out. Just so tanky. Handsome Shamans are so tanky. Gets a stun into Copy is going to be enough for him to catch up a little bit of heals. Copy just not allowed to stay in melee with the guy at all. Like, for real. Just not allowed to stay in melee with him at all. Primordial Bowl is out. Unstoppable might be able to get him some big zaps. Going to be that grounding for 2 of them out of the 3, which is pretty good. Copyfin was quick on the draw, and that's going to be the last to separate the 2. It's just, Unstoppable has the slows onto Copy. Just hits him with a slow. With those instant cast frost shocks, they can just keep firing off anytime he wants to. And then he hits him with a lasso, and then just separates away from him while in Ghost Wolf. Copy needs to stay in melee, but there's just almost nothing you can really do to just remove any kind of slows, unless he goes in for the one sprint ability that Enhancement Shamans have. Unstoppable having to wall his damage up a little bit as well. Does get hit with a Hex, as the Copy is just trying to see if he can wait up for some cooldowns and get Unstoppable in a better position. Maybe Copy is lagging a little bit. Maybe that's what's going on here. Because it did look a little funky. Unstoppable kind of low. Tricking for Copy. Might have Unstoppable here. Knockback comes out. Does have the zaps. And there goes the Frost Star. Copyfin taking out the Elemental Shaman. Didn't have the Wombo combo one-shot on him or anything like that. But he had a nice setup either way. Christina up next. Walling this off as the bleeds are getting applied by the Feral. Big ol' bites and Copy is super happy he walled his damage. Hopefully no convokes later. And Copyfin does not have a trinket. So next setup Christina has with a bash. Could be deadly. Copy though still has plenty of self heals going on, but so does Christina. Although finally he's in melee. Finally he's able to land those maelstroms. Finally he can get this elemental blast. It looks like he's actually putting pressure onto Christina, forcing the Feral to wall this off and hit an Ursula Vortex onto Copy. He is going to get their Earth Elemental over there to at least start hitting Christina, not letting the Feral catch the reset at all. So unless he's playing Incarnation, he's not going to be able to do it. He needs to hit him with some kind of a slow somewhere or another. But looks like he's just trying to stay away, get those regrowth stun totem around the corner. Doesn't get Christina down just yet. Does go for the bash. Is that a convoke? Convoke coming out. Maybe some of it will go into the Earth Ellie. I think some of those did go into the Earth Ellie. Big Sunder onto Christina. Has the Ghost Wolves rolling. Thorns are up. As long as he can remove the Thorns, he'll be in a good spot. Does get to cleanse them off. And the Ghost Wolves are biting and doing work right now. They are definitely doing work over here. Trying to learn regrowths at 30% dampener. Should be able to catch himself a lot of heals either way. That's going to be a free regrowths available. Copy just needs to get himself line inside of Christina. Hit him with a slow somehow. Has the grounding totem on the other side. And Christina has power shifting available. Not a lot of mana available for Christina right now though. Needs a bit of that mana recovery. That's going to be yet another slow into Christina. Still waiting this out. Ursula's going to catch Copyfin out in the slow. And not much you can really do in this situation. Maybe Copy has a setup now. Finally, Christina wants to go in for damage. Has a trinket if necessary ever. Into a Panda-racial. Copyfin just goes for a bit of a reset. And Christina looking to land himself a cycle onto Copy. Maybe thinking he might be able to get a trinket out of him. Or maybe just going for a full-blown reset. This is where Copy should be a little bit sketched out. Because it is Christina getting a full reset here. Could go for the eyes to find Christina. Might not be a bad move. Keep the duel going. Should be able to maybe hit him. Looks like Christina was already mid-air getting that opener. And Copy does have a wall for this. Probably should go for a wall if Christina especially goes for Big Damie. Trying to drop down the capacitor totem. Christina is not going to hit by just walking out of there with a Feral mobility. Is going to have to bar skin this. Christina does go for a little bit of a self-heal. but maybe this is where Copyfin could turn it around. Bart's almost over. Casino won't really have much about it. Trinket. What are you going to trinket, really? It's not really a big defense. So big ascent is coming out for Copy. Christina is actually a little bit afraid. Big Shade Harvest and Copyfin taking him out. Yeah, I told you, he probably should be just a little bit afraid. Fury Warrior Trados up next, trying to make the big damage happen. Playing the Siegebreaker against Copy, who is going to wall this off, trying to get himself some Maelstrom with self-heals rolling as well. Big leap for Trados, and Copy is going to get hit with a fear. Trados just looking to catch up with Copy finally. 24% dampener. I believe the Maelstrom healing is still pretty good. I think that should still be pretty good, especially with Ghost Wolves up and running for Copy. Has plenty of mana. Can go aggressively with Trados too. Plenty of Maelstrom in order to go for big zaps for damage, but also for self-heals once in a blue moon. Stun onto Copy. Trados trying to see if he might be able to get Copy low, but looks like Trados isn't an execute ready to Copy. Just gets a one final melee off him. With Kedem going to be up next. Getting the binding shot. Has the double tap ready to go. Resonating arrow. Not much you can really do. Copy. Actually lands a stun. Wait, Copy's actually monstrous. He got that stun as the double tap aim rapid fire was about to come out. He actually stopped the burst from the hunter. Wait, Copy's actually nuts. Copy's actually insane. That capacity totem, even I didn't see it around the corner. What the hell? That was so good. If Copy could just survive the, maybe get Kedem down before the next setup with a burst, before the next Resonant Arrow double tap one more combo, he might be okay. He might actually be okay. It's going to be aim shot. That thing is definitely going to hurt, but he does get himself a heal. Copy's health is just not looking that good. They'll try to doorway shadows next to Kedem. That's going to be, disengage coming out, but does get stopped for a second. Copy doesn't sit that scatter shot long. Doesn't really have a lot of health. Needs to maybe turn the attention to the pet. The pet can give a free Maelstrom. If only he was Earth Shield or Lightning Shield, that would give him Maelstrom every few seconds he gets hit. But Copy is still not out of the fight. Does get a Flame Shock onto Kedem. Does get hit with a binding shot. Could be the Resonating Arrow. Not much you can really do in this situation. Is sitting Ghostos. Might have to go for a self-heal. Healing Surge coming out. Kedem does get the final shot of aim shot. Probably with a kill shot combo in there. Gets him pretty low and does take him out. That is super unfortunate. I feel like the only way Copy could have done something is maybe not get rooted by Binding Shot. Just stand there next to Binding Shot. Jump and throw down a stun totem next to Kedem. To at least kind of disrupt his globals a little. I think that's all you could really do. If only he was the Shaman. If only Enhancement Shamans had Spirit Walker's Grace. Because then you could use Spirit Walker's Grace. Jump up, start a cast of Hex. And then make sure to jump back up before the Hex is finished to get a Hex on the Kedem. Looks at Jellyfly getting open onto Kedem. Into a bite out of that, trinketed into a scatter shot and rapid fire ready. Kedem does see himself the big one-shot wombo combo. Looks like he does himself quite a lot of health recovery. Being a Kyrian, he does go for the Kyrian ability, the Kyrian potion, that does heal you for a ton, but heal you over time. At 39% dampening, it does look very effective. Does have the double tap ready. Resonant shot. It looks like Resonant Arrow does go into Jellyfly. Has massive rapid fire ready with an explosive shot. Into a maim. Trinkets out of the maim. Jellyfly is still super low. Does have a little bit of health recovery, but a 40% dampening. Not much you can really do. Super low in health. Kill shot. Rivers. Interrupting the Convoke into a scatter shot. Aim shot and kill shot. Probably should do it. And does get the pod. It needs to take down the pod real quickly. I don't think it should be an issue for Marksman Hunter. There it goes. Pretty easy done. And Belly is going to be up next as an arms where it can. Kedem actually go through the rest of the team. Only Belly and Lex left. Belly going in for big damage into a freezing trap. Decides to trinket it. Leaping on top of Kedem. Does he go for the Night Fae ability? As he went for the Warbreaker. He does get knocked back. Trying to see if he maybe Night Fae over to Kedem. It looks like does have a reflect available. Rapid fire aim shots are going to take him out there. Kedem just kited him out. Got a little bit of burst there. Down he goes. Legs going in for almost a... Oh, I think it was trying to go for a slash wave. Kedem hit him with a 100's mark just so the guy doesn't get an invis at all. As Kedem is a little bit behind. With the fire mage, big combustion ready at any time. He's going to be in a really good spot. Lex mounting up. I guess he's not even going to go for the eyes. He's just like, you know, I'll just let Kedem open up on me. Big aim shot in the opener. Burns through all those shields at 47% dampener, so the shields are going to be less effective. Kedem does have himself double tap ready. Resonant Arrow doesn't hit. Lex, it looks like rapid fire does hit. Lots of damage. Does have the alter time, though. That's going to be interrupt onto the poly. I guess you can't poly him over the pet. Lex not in a great spot. Actually, Cauterize procking out. Could be an ice block here. Could be an ice block. Does try to go for food immediately. And Invis doesn't sit long at all. Kedem just needs to give himself one setup. One tiniest setup. Maybe just jump just a jump shot and he'll be good. Or maybe he just needs to go for another binding shot into resonating. He still has to deal with an ice block. So Lex still has big offensives ready. So maybe Kedem doesn't just win this by default just yet. A rapid fire onto Lex with an explosive shot, gets a super low polymorph onto Kedem. Does have a trinket, and it's gonna try to see if he can to remove any buzz from Lex. I think he was expecting maybe a combustion, hoping to maybe go for a train shot to remove it. Lex does catch up on quite a lot of health at 54% dampening with that ice block. That is really good for him. Kedem does have a double tap, does have the resonant arrow, does have the range with that rapid fire. A lot of the damage is going to go through. Lex does have himself a little bit of a reset of health bar with the all-the-time combustion coming in for Lex, but looks like Kedem does take it back. How many kills is that, Kedem? Kedem needs a 4. 4. That is pretty good. Copyfin came in, blasted it pretty hard, though. He actually had to play pretty hard against the Unstoppable, who had more healing than damage. Interesting. Interesting. But he did it, boys. He came into the duel and brought it back for his team. I had high dampening when no one can really catch up. That is pretty good for Marksman Hunter, though. He really had a good setup. He had a pretty good go, easy go with a warrior, too. So he didn't have to commit too many cooldowns there. It's just ended up being a little bit on the unfortunate side for Belly, I guess is the best way to put it. With Lex, he played it very, very carefully. And he got the Feral down pretty easily. He got himself really nice setups with the Resonant Arrow. Basically, it was the ability that made him the big play there, boys. Alrighty, man. Alrighty, boys. I think we're gonna call it here, man. It is 7. I am a little bit hungry, and I forgot to order food, so the food isn't here yet. So I'm gonna order food right now, boys, and the stream. Get myself some grub. I think we're gonna be chilling, man. I think we're gonna be chilling. Thank you boys so much for coming by. Appreciate all of you. I know Sandro, Lord, Proxy, you guys have groups. Cracker, want to go another one, but we're gonna do more next week. Be here, boys. Be here early Friday for the duels. We'll be going for even more duels next time. How does that sound, man? How does that sound? Thank you guys so much. Appreciate all of you. You guys are super fun to hang out with. I'm gonna go get myself some grub order real quickly, and I'll see you boys tomorrow for more 5v5s. Peace.